Excellent. All right. Perfect. Voice is clear. Thanks, Deepa. Appreciate that. Uh, yes, clearest. All right, Niru. Thank you. Martha is saying, change mic. Okay. No, I am actually making a full webinar room in my house so that in the future, I will have soundproof quality in the house to be able to speak to all of you because I realize that I'm spending so much time talking to all of you. I need to put up a soundproof room and get all those gadgets. However, I'm not I'm not an influencer or I'm not doing podcasts for a living or any of that, right? So I only do this to be able to communicate with every single one of you, and that truly is my passion. So that's what excites me. And I realized that I need to spend some time on, obviously, while I want to spend some time on, getting all the technology in place and everything, it is very time consuming. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that it's very time consuming to set up. Can hear me loud and clear. Thank you, Mr. Oswald. Appreciate that. Are you coming to Singapore? Yes, I will be coming to Singapore. We are having the BCC Mastermind actually in Singapore. I will be coming to the Philippines. I will be coming to Hong Kong, and I will be coming um, to India. So I will be doing India, Hong Kong, Singapore, potentially Malaysia. I'm not very sure about that yet. China, I will be going for sure. I've got Cyprus planned as well, so I should be going to Cyprus. And I will be going around to a couple of countries. So if you do have a particular country that you think I should come and visit and see you guys, I would love to do that. Guys, I travel not just to work, I also travel to meet other fellow advisors like yourself for a couple of reasons. We get to exchange ideas, we get to exchange notes. I do not have a team. So if you have any questions on how to build a team, I'm the wrong guy. I do not recruit. I have zero advisors under me. So if you want to learn how to build a team, guys, I'm the wrong mentor for that. But I do know how to increase sales. I do know how to sell very, very well. I do know how to build the right sales system for myself. So I know exactly how I'm going to do my prospecting, how I'm going to do my presentations, how I'm going to handle my objections, how do I build the right closing structure so that every time I'm trying to get them to close, they will close. I know how to build interactions between multiple clients. So, how do I bring a group of fraternity of clients together? I love to do that. About coming to the US, I am actually coming to the US almost 4 times this year, but I'm not sure if we'll be having a session to learn in the US. I don't think so. Not as of now. I will be coming for MDRT though. I am registered to fly in for MDRT. Um, I should be coming for MDRT around June, right? So I'll be there for June. I'm excited about that. I should be coming in for top of the table meeting. So if you are coming to the TOT meeting, I will definitely be there. Session in Canada. Oh, Canada is a little difficult. Not this year. We'll probably look at Canada in 2026. I am definitely, actually, no, funny. I am speaking in the US in March or April. I think I'm speaking in March or April in the US. I am, Kushal, unfortunately, I'm not coming to Canada this year. I will probably be coming to Canada next year. So 2026, I'm targeting to be in Canada. How about Cebu in the Philippines? Not yet, Jillian. I will probably be in Manila, but not in Cebu yet. I haven't planned for Cebu. My team is continuously working on my calendar, but you have to remember, guys, while I'm traveling, I also have to work. There is nobody else who does my business for me, right? So, and that's what the other problem is that I'm trying to balance between being able to travel, meet with you guys, meet with my clients, and also close my deals along the way because I don't earn any money from speaking or from my books or from my mentoring. I don't earn any money from that. All that money goes to charity. My real business is selling insurance, and that is truly what my job is. And 2025 has started extremely well. So I did want to give you a feedback that In 2025, I did set a very, very aggressive target for myself. I'm trying to double what I did in 2024. Will I be successful? That's only a matter of time. We will only know that um, as we get closer to the end of the year as to how far or near I am to my target. But I am really upset about missing my target last year. Guys, we are a community that is very, very, let me put it this way. Insurance is probably the least competitive business in the world. This is an industry that is the least competitive. I know a lot of you think that we are in a very competitive industry. Um, Gas, I would love to come to Argentina again. I mean, I have beautiful memories in Argentina, but let me just tell something very important to all of you. And I want you all to put this into your brain and understand the fundamental philosophies of financial services, insurance as a career. It's probably the least competitive career in the world. And I'll explain why. Okay, before we get to explaining why, I want to ask this question to all of you. How many of you really think that this business is competitive? Be honest. Yes, Mahadev, my target is to do 1,000 crores this year. So I want to cross the 1,000 crore mark. So yes, you are absolutely correct. You're a little behind, but my target is 1,000 crores in India, if you would put it that way. How many of you feel this business is competitive? Okay. So Q says, I feel it is competitive. And it's fair. Guys, I want you to tell me what you feel, because if you tell me what you feel, I will tell you how to handle those problems, right? I see my circle, it's competitive in the sense of selling products. Nicholas says, me. Prachi says, I do. Um, Somewhat. But if the client likes you, then you don't have competition. Uh, Catherine's being politically correct. Um, it is competitive. The market is wide. Uh, it can be competitive, according to Martin. Niru is saying other companies. I think prospecting is a bit hard. So, Julie, great. We'll handle prospecting today. I'm so glad. Guys, if you have a problem that you want me to cover today, please put in the chat box. I want to cover the problems that you have. Instead of me telling you what I'm doing, I would rather help you solve your problem. This is a free session that I've done specifically to answer any questions you have, any problems you have. And I want to handle those and really make 2025 your best year ever. I truly believe that you can make 2025 amazing if you put the right strategy in place. Okay, competitive in the sense everyone is doing the same thing and perception among people. All right, perfect. Thank you, Manpreet. Appreciate that. Prospecting is a challenge. Great, Sarah. Thank you for telling me that. Mr. Rajput, I did 324.27 TOTs last year. Leads. So Anurag is saying leads. Okay, I get that. Leads. Got it, Anurag. Akash Jain, consistency. Very, very important. Thanks for putting that out there, Akash. Consistency is a problem in our business. We make some money and then boom, we fall off the cliff. NRI business. All right, we're going to talk about working with expatriates, so not just NRIs. For those of you who don't know what is NRI, it is a non-resident Indian, Indians that are not residents, or in Philippines they call them OFWs, overseas Filipino workers. Discipline. All right, we're going to talk about discipline as well. May not be competitive if we manage to specialize. Janice. All right. People misunderstand. So let me tell you something about insurance, guys. Insurance is probably the only industry that is least understood, misunderstood, or not understood at all, right? Insurance is that profession which is either misunderstood, it's least understood, or it is completely not understood at all. And as a profession, that's where the problem is. Nobody studies to become an insurance advisor. Think about it. Insurance is the least competitive business because nobody has the childhood dream to become an insurance advisor. Every day, 10,000 people become doctors, 10,000 people become engineers, 10,000 people become architects, 10,000 people become scientists, 10,000 people become accountants, administrators, managers, pilots. Who studies to become an insurance advisor? I want you to think about this, guys. We are in the least competitive business in the world. And the day you understand this, that if you truly want to become successful in this business, you need to learn to build your own self. Your biggest investment is in you. That should be your biggest investment in you becoming the best advisor that your clients can get. We all entered this industry by mistake, or somebody showed us what we call the golden goose strategy. I'm reading all the comments, right? Tajul, I will be talking about prospecting today. I'll be talking about the entire sales cycle today. Um, I want you all to realize this, that as advisors, we we don't study to become insurance advisors. We're trying to become someone different. We're trying to be, I see many advisors, they become a little successful in this business, then they start to diversify. They will open up a restaurant, a boutique. They'll start doing investments. They will start doing real estate. They will start doing other professions because they don't believe that insurance is a sustainable career. Now, let me give you a little background. My family's been in the financial services or insurance business for the last 3 generations. And over these 3 generations, we have only grown as a family. Julia has asked a very interesting question. I would love to answer that. Julia asked, Sanjay, the clients that you closed in 2024, are they all new clients, existing clients? For new clients, how long does Sanjay engage with them first before starting discussion about insurance? All right, so Julia, let me get one thing clear. Majority of my cases are existing clients, only 5% potential new clients every year. So I keep working with the same client base, and over a period of time, I'm working with them, and I keep growing my client base by working with their related families. So I don't only do individual financial planning, I usually do financial planning for the whole family or for the entire estate. I also get involved with the corporation, so I would do a lot of key man insurance, I would do a lot of board of directors insurance, I would do um, a lot of retention strategies. I would be doing a lot of that as well. So while I'm working with the same client group, I do start working with people that are associated with that client. So, Julia, that's how it is. And when do I start talking about insurance? In the first meeting. Uh, I don't wait for a second, third, or fourth meeting. I will have a discussion in the first meeting itself for a very simple reason. That's my area of expertise. They talk about their business, they talk about their life. I talk about my business, I talk about my life, right? Um, why are you scared about talking about what you're good at? If you're good at it, you can talk about it. Haven't you noticed that when you sit down with any successful business owner, they will talk about their business because that is what they are good in. If you sit down someone who's an engineer, he will love to go into that business. If you sit down with a real estate developer, he will start talking about his real estate. You sit down with a doctor, he will start talking about medicine. We always go back to what we are best at. We always love to talk about what we are best at. Ah, Tajul, thank you very much for sharing that. Tajul just mentioned that uh, they're using my 28,000 presentation and it helps them close cases. I'm so glad. Guys, it's extremely nice when I get to see when advisors are able to close cases and you know use my presentation. Guys, I put up my presentations for you on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I put these up only specifically so that you can copy paste them, use them. They are for you. I want every single advisor to be recognized for the work, the quality of advice that they give. The reason why I teach presentations is because products will always change. If you're a real advisor and you've been in this business long enough, you know one thing for sure. Never get attached to your products. Your products will change. And that's the most important factor. Products will always change. What doesn't change is the quality of advice that you give, the relationship that you build. There are three. So when you think about estate planning, all right, I'm going to teach you something a little bit more advanced today. All right. So we'll go from basics to advanced, but I'm actually talking about advanced strategy right now. Then we'll go to the basics. So let me teach you something which is very important. In estate planning, there are three things that you transfer to the next generation. Number one, you transfer wealth. Number two, you transfer knowledge. And number three, so you've got three wealths, okay? One is financial wealth that you give to your kids. Number two is your knowledge and wisdom, right? So what we call values, knowledge, wisdom, that's the second source of wealth that you give to your children. And the third one, which is something that is probably the least passed on, is relationship capital. Write this down. Is relationship capital. Because relationships is what makes you successful in life. You know, I was speaking to an advisor the other day, and he said, Sanjay, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. How many of you have heard that? It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. How many of you have heard that? All right. How many of you have heard that? It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. All right. So all of you have heard this before, right? It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. I'm going to change that today. All right, I'm going to change that today. It's not about what you know, it's about who knows you. We're going to change that today. It's not about what you know, it's about who knows you. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. You know the prime minister of your country, you know the president of your country, you know the richest man in your country. The question is, do they know you? So we're going to change that, guys. It's not about what you know, it's about who knows you. And that is true relationship capital. So, you know, when you say your network decides your net worth, Dharampal, I'm so glad you wrote that down. Your network decides your net worth. Let me correct that. Your network that knows you. You can be part of a network, but if you don't value add into that network, if you are not the subject matter expert, if you're not the SME, the subject matter expert in your network, then it doesn't matter how good your network is. We're going to change this today, guys. I want you all to understand this, that you can be part of the biggest networking group. You can join a lot of networking organizations, you can join a lot of clubs, you can join a lot of places to work and meet people. It does not make you successful. What truly makes you successful is when you are classified as the subject matter expert. And I learned this at a very young age, that being a subject matter expert is very important while you are building your network. Now, we always know we are the average of the 5 people around us. We are the average of the 5 people around us. We all know that. So now the question is, who are the 5 people you are spending your time with? Who are the 5 people you are spending your time with? Who are they? Your average income, remember this as well, guys, your average income is going to be equal to the average income of your clients. Your average income is the average income of your clients. Think about this. So, before you onboard a client, before you onboard your client, think this question. Will this client increase my average, reduce my average, or keep me at the same level? Your average income is the average income of your clients. So if your clients on an average earn $10,000 a month, your average income is $10,000 a month. If your average client is earning $100,000 a month, your average income is $100,000 a month. Ah. And that's the reason why I would love to spend time with every advisor in the market. I would. But guys, I'm going to ask this question to you. Will you increase my average or will you reduce my average? Will you increase the average of the advisor around me or will you reduce the income of the average advisor around me? So every time I sit down with an advisor, I'm always thinking, can I help them become better? And if I can help them become better, what is a skill that I should teach them to help them become better? I have challenged some of my mentees, and you'll get to meet some of them today. I've challenged my mentees to try and do one MDRT in one case. You know, when you're trying to do an MDRT in your whole year, I'm challenging my mentees to do one MDRT in one case. I've even challenged some of my mentees to do one TOT in one case. So you think TOT is an annual target. For us, we are targeting to do TOT in one case. Guys, we have moved out of a generation where money is losing value faster than we can ever catch up. How many of you feel that money is really losing value? How many of you feel that? I want you to think about that. How many of you see that? How many of you feel that? That money is really losing value. All right. I want you to think about this. That today we're going to classify high net worth clients. Okay, how many of you want to work with high net worth clients? Shinghan has said, isn't it natural due to inflation? Shinghan, it's not really naturally due to inflation. There you listen to Ernesto. In Argentina, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Kervin, we keep blaming it on inflation. It's not inflation. It's the level of productivity in the world that is increasing faster than we can keep up. Humans are becoming less productive. However, machines are becoming more productive. I mean, we were just having this discussion yesterday. We were having this discussion with all my mentees. We were talking about something called AGI, artificial general intelligence, right? AI has already crossed into the realm of something called AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, where AI has a approximate IQ of 155. It's at 155. Guys, that is scary because that's the average IQ in the world. And AI has already reached AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. So it's not just about AI, it's about the level of productivity at which we can work. We can do a lot more today with our time than we could 5 years ago. We can do a lot more with our time. So it's about understanding how AI as a tool can help you grow your business by staying connected with the right number of people, by staying connected with the people that you want to communicate with, by staying connected. So it's not just about social media. It's not about doing what we say TikTok videos. It's not about that. It's not about social media. It's about communication. Our business has always been about communicating. However, high net worth clients find it extremely uncomfortable to have big conversations online because of privacy, because of confidentiality. They are extremely concerned that the quality is not going to be good enough. The quality is not going to be good enough. That's their biggest concern. So I want you all to think about this. I want you all to think about this. Darius has asked a question. Sanjay, how do I get high net worth clients to say hi to buy insurance from me? All right. First of all, let's classify high net worth clients. All right. Write this down, guys. Write this down. There are 7 levels of high net worth clients. There are 7 levels of high net worth clients. And I keep talking about this. So if you are in the BCC program or in the ASC program, the reason why I created that was because I realized that when you are a new advisor in the business, you need to get your basics correct, which is available online. Guys, I've put that up on YouTube. I've put that up on Facebook. That's available for free. I've actually put it up on online for free to get your basics correct. Once you get your basics correct, the future of financial services is about the way you structure these assets, right? So asset structuring is the future of financial services. It's not just about insurance is not a product anymore. Insurance is a way to control, build, manage, hold assets. And the way you hold these assets and the way you use insurance as a tool to protect those assets, right, is the future of financial services. So asset structuring is something that I created or coined as a word because I truly believe that the future of insurance is about asset structuring. It's not just about one simple product. It's about what you can do with that product, right? And that is the future. So I created the asset structuring club so that we can talk about how to structure assets. But once you get that correct, the next step is finding ways to design, build, monetize your own products. How do you build your own product? How do you negotiate with underwriters? How do you negotiate with reinsurers? How do you do that? That is an advanced skill. And it's very difficult for me to teach that in a session like this. I usually do that in my mastermind. So I do that with my core mentees because you need to have a certain level of client, a certain level of knowledge to be able to execute those transactions. So that's the reason why I'm here to give it 100%. And I'm giving all this knowledge away for free. I don't earn a single dollar from doing this. This is not my business. My business is selling insurance. I do this because I truly believe our industry needs mentors. I have 7 mentors in my life, and I'm only paying it forward. So if you've been watching my latest YouTube videos, because I've spent time to be recording videos, to give data out, to teach you guys, I truly believe that it's my job to pay it forward. I've learned something from my mentors. The least I can do is pass it on. I want every single advisor to get the right skills, to get the right ideas, to get the right objectives. And I don't want them to leave this business, because when I see advisors leaving this business, it hurts me. Because when you leave this business, guys, even if you just have one client or two clients, when you leave this business, what is that client called? When you leave this business, what does the insurance company call your client? Because now there's no advisor to take care of them. What is the terminology that you call those clients? Joyce, I'm going to get to that. Orphaned. Manpreet, thank you very much. Orphaned. They're called an orphan. Do you know the meaning of the word orphan? Where your mother and father have both died. That is called an orphan. That is the relationship that you're creating when you leave this business. You are making your clients an orphan. What is the meaning of the word orphan? It's the worst feeling in the world, where you get thrown into what we call the foster care system, where nobody else cares about you. No other advisor cares about you. And that's truly how those clients feel. They feel like they've been orphaned. Yes, Bharat, Lavaris in Hindi. So, guys, if you are in this business, if you are in this business, be very serious about those relationships. Because when you leave this business, you are creating orphans. Don't make your clients an orphan. And the only way to do that is if I can help every single one of you become successful in this career. That's exactly why I'm doing today's workshop for free. I'm not asking anyone for anything. Instead, I have spent money to organize today's workshop. My team, everyone, is working very hard to make sure that we get this knowledge out. So if you have any friends that should be watching this, tag them here. Let them watch this video, because every single advisor should know what they should be doing in 2025. Now, let's come to the 7 levels of high net worth clients. So level number 1 is what we call high net worth, right? That's the first level, high net worth. What is the definition of high net worth? So today, let's define high net worths. By the way, guys, if you do have any friends that should be watching in today's live video, please do tag them, tell them to come on. It's a free video. I want every single advisor out there to be able to watch this video and learn from it. I don't care how many advisors watch today's video. I want every single advisor to get that opportunity to become better. So what's the definition of a high net worth client? Let's write this down. How much money should you have that people call you high net worth? So what's the definition, guys? Thanks, Nicholas. Loaded in millions. I love that one. Sarah, I love that one. Loaded in millions. Yes, it is about money, Julie. It is about, no, it's not subjective, Manpreet. I'm going to give you the actual definition today. If you have $1 million in income or $5 million in net worth, you're called a high net worth individual. You have $1 million in income, or you have $5 million net worth. You are a high net worth. Okay? $5 million. Okay, $5 million. $1 million in investable cash or $5 million in net worth. You are a high net worth client. That's right, Akash. Fantastic. All right. What is the second level of high net worth clients? The second level of high net worth clients is what we call ultra high net worth, UHNI. No, Deepak, I want you to stop thinking in crores and I want you to start thinking in US dollars. Guys, please remember, start thinking in US dollars so you get an idea of equal comparison. The next level is what we call ultra high net worth. Okay? Ultra high net worth. Ultra high net worth is someone who's got $10 million in cash or $50 million in net worth. $10 million in cash or $50 million in net worth. That is your ultra high net worth. Okay? Level 3. Level 3 is what we call centimillionaires. People who have got more than $100 million in net worth. People who have got $100 million in net worth. They are called centimillionaires. All right, so that's level 3. Guys, we have only reached level 3. We have 7 to go. Level number 4 is what we call billionaires. People who have got at least $1 billion in net worth. So if you have $1 billion or above, you're called a billionaire. All right, so that's level 4. Level 4 is billionaires. Hemant, how do I spell centi? C-E-N-T-I. It's like centimeter, centimillionaire, right? Centimillionaire. So level 4 is billionaires, people with $1 billion or more in net worth. Level 5, centi-billionaires, people who have got more than $100 billion in net worth. Right? So if you have more than $100 billion, you're a centi-billionaire. Deepa, 100 million is not 1 billion. 1,000 million is 1 billion. So Deepa, 1,000 million is 1 billion. All right. So lost count already. Catherine's like, whoa, Sanjay, I've lost count. All right, guys, let's go back. High net worth, ultra high net worth, centimillionaire, billionaire, centi-billionaire. That's 5. All right. We've reached level 5. Now, who is in the centi-billionaire category? Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. These are all people who are in the centi-billionaire category. Okay? These are all people who are in the centi-billionaire category. We still have 2 more categories, guys. I told you there are 7. We've only reached 5. Centi-billionaires. No, centi-billionaire is more than 100 billion. Centi-millionaire then is a billionaire. That is 1 billion plus. Centi-billion is 100 billion plus. All right. Now level 6. Level 6. Write this down. Level 6 is royalty. Royalty. We still live in a world of kings and queens. We still have royalty existing in the world. We still have many people who hold what we call royal positions, and their net worth is never disclosed. All right, their net worth is actually never disclosed. And Hemant, you're right. We are reaching into the trillionaire space because we still have royal families. We have royal families across the Middle East. We have royal families still in Asia. We still have royal families in Europe. We still have royal families. All right. All right, so that's number 6. There's still one more. There's still one more. Number 7. Number 7 is governments. You see, even governments need insurance. Even governments need insurance. How many of you are qualified to give advice to the government on the insurance plans that the government needs? So these are the 7 levels of high net worth clients. Now, there could be a 8th. Guys, let me be very transparent with you. There could be an 8. There could be an 8. I don't know about 8 yet. There could be 8. I don't know number 8. The reason why I know these 7 is because I have worked with every single 7 of the 7 categories. I have worked on all 7 categories. That's the reason why I know about these 7. I've worked with all 7 categories. There could be an 8. I don't know what 8 is. Now, why is it important for you to know? Why is it important for you to know about these 7 categories? Every category has a different requirement. Every category has a different mindset. Every category has a different philosophy. Every category has a different mission and purpose. Today, I hope I've shown you something that's new. So, we've been spending some time together already. And I hope in this little time that we've spent together, every single one of you have learned at least one thing that is new today. All right? That's the objective of the session. I want every single one of you to learn something new today. And if you truly believe there's anyone else that should be learning this knowledge, please do share it. Deepa wrote centipede millionaires. No, no, no. There's centi-millionaires and centi-billionaires, not centu. I'm glad. All right. I was told that Sanjay, one person cannot make a big change. All right. I was told that Sanjay, one person cannot make a big change. So, guys, I am that one person today that's trying to make a big change by helping every advisor understand what is there in the market. You see, we as advisors don't spend time to talk to each other. We go spend time in training classes. We go and spend time with non-practitioners, people who don't even practice this business, and they're trying to teach us things. Guys, we as a community need to spend more time together. We as a community need to spend more time talking to each other, planning, finding ways to build, finding ways to discuss products. The problem is the guys who are designing products are not even selling the products. They're sitting in the office and they're designing products. They don't spend time to understand what is the client thinking? What should I be selling? When I sit down with advisors and I look at the way they are selling products, they look at the commission level first. Guys, I want you all to remember one thing. If the premium is big, the commission is automatically big. Stop focusing on commission and start focusing on premium. Stop focusing on commission and start focusing on premium. If the premium is big, the commission is automatically big. Aaron, good morning. So nice to see you all the way from Vancouver. Fantastic. Excellent. Randy has asked a very interesting question. If government is the seventh class of high net worth clients, why is it that countries go bankrupt? Randy, every category of client can go bankrupt. It doesn't matter whether you're one, two, three, four, five, or six, or seven. You can all go bankrupt, right? It doesn't matter. Julia, what do I sell to corporate clients? So guys, let's get a few, let's come back on track. Let's plan 2025, okay? Let's plan 2025. First of all, I want you to understand that every single one of you needs to choose a specialization. All right. So there are four specializations in our industry, and I want every single one of you to choose one of the four specializations. Write these down. Number one, risk management. It's one of the most basic specializations where you understand what is risk, how do you identify risk. I actually did a video a few days ago on this. It's called FBI, Families, Businesses, Individuals. How do you identify risk for families, businesses, and individuals? I did this video a few days ago. So if you're on Facebook or Instagram or on TikTok or one of those channels, you would have watched that video. I actually did this video talking about FBI, right? So that's one of the specializations, which is risk management. Specialization number two, write these down, guys. Number two is asset management. Understanding what are the tangible and intangible assets that you have. Tangible assets are assets that you can see. For example, your properties, your businesses, your warehouse, your stock, your jewelry. Those are all what we call tangible assets. Intangible assets are things like your intellectual property, your brand, your goodwill, your human capital in the family. There's one person in the family who's extremely smart. How do you protect that loss of talent, right? So that is what we call asset management. How do you manage the asset that the family has? Do you realize that some families build their family name, right? So for example, the Tata family, the Birla family, the Ambanis, the Adanis, their names, right? The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, their name itself is invaluable. So number one is risk management. Number two is asset management. Number three is what we call corporate financial planning. How do you plan for corporations? There is a special skill to work with corporations. So working with the multinational board, working with corporate agreements, trying to fix the right structure to make sure that the corporation is always succeeding. They always say a corporate is a living entity by itself. It is separate from the individual. So when you set up a business, the business is a legal entity by itself. And you need to treat the business like a legal entity separate from its owners. So you need to understand corporate financial planning. In corporate financial planning, there are three things I teach every mentee of mine: asset acquisition, asset maintenance or retention, and then asset retirement. Write these three things down: asset acquisition, asset maintenance and retention, and asset retirement. These are three fundamental features or importance when you're focusing on corporate financial planning. And you need to learn the skills on how to do asset acquisition. Which asset do you acquire? Which human talent do you acquire? Which property do you acquire? Which technology do you acquire? So asset acquisition, it's very important to build an asset acquisition fund. Then it's about asset maintenance and retention. How do I retain that talent? How do I retain or maintain that asset? Right? So that's step number two, is asset retention and asset maintenance. Step number three, asset retirement. After using an asset, after having an employee, after having a property, after having a technology, you have to know how do you retire that asset and salvage the value of that asset. All right. So what's your salvage value of those assets? All this is part of corporate financial planning. Corporate financial planning. That's the third specialization. So specialization number one, risk management. Specialization number two is asset management. Specialization number three, corporate financial planning. And the fourth and the final specialization is family office management. How do you run, build, and maintain a family office? Now, how many of you know what is a family office? How many of you know what is a family office? Please don't write family business. It is not. It is not the office where my family sits. No, it is not that. Family office management. How many of you know what is family office management? Legacy. No idea. Hemant is saying no idea. All right. Let's talk about this today, guys. Fanny, HNI is high net worth individual. Martin, thought it was a family business. No, it's not. A will, trust, business succession. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. What is a family office? I'm going to show you something very interesting. Wait. So I was sitting with a client of mine in the restaurant, right? And this, so this was the restaurant where I was sitting, all right? So this was on which the food was being served, and we were talking about family office. So we did not have a paper and pen, right? So I was actually at this restaurant, one of my favorite types of food. I love Lebanese food. So if anyone's here from Lebanon, guys, I was having amazing Lebanese food. And while we were having a discussion about family office, I did not have a paper and pen. So I was writing on the back of that paper, right? I was actually writing on the back of this paper. And what was I writing? Let me see if I can fold it and actually show it to you. All right, give me a second. Oh, this is fun. So I know this is a doctor's handwriting, so it's very difficult to read. This is what a family office structure looks like. And I was drawing this for my client on a piece of paper while I was having a discussion with him, right? So this is exactly what a family office structure looks like. I'm going to read this out so you don't have to worry. Number one, a family office is established to maintain and manage the investments of a family. All right? A family office is established to maintain or manage the investments of the family. So that's number one. So if you notice, that's number one, investment. Okay. Number two is mentorship. You need to set up a mentoring structure in your family to mentor future generations. All right. So that's number two. So that's mentorship. Number three, charity. Every family office has to build the right charitable system to make sure that the family is always recognized in society for being able to give back to society. So, a family office, you need to set up the charitable guidelines of that charity. Number four is governance, right? Number four is governance. What does that mean? A family needs to be run like a government. You need to put up a constitution, you need to put up a board of directors, you should have a voting practice, you should be able to discuss ideas, you should be able to build the right system to make sure that the family continues to stay relevant and successful. All right. So that's governance. So one, two, three, four. Number four is governance. Number five, inheritance and succession. Number five, inheritance and succession. So, guys, I'm reading out literally what I've written down here for my clients. So you can see how I talk to my clients. Is inheritance and succession. Do you realize I put a circle around it? And there's a circle around it for a reason. Inheritance and succession are two different things. Inheritance is the transfer of wealth. Succession is the transfer of power. Listen to me very carefully. Inheritance is the transfer of wealth, and succession is the transfer of power. All right. Number seven, asset ownership and control. Who will own the assets and who will have control on the assets? Just because you own it doesn't mean you have control. All right? Just because you own it doesn't mean you have control. So asset ownership and control. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's number 6. Number 7, a security council. You see, some families, when they become extremely rich, they become extremely large, they need to have a security council. They need their children, their future generations to be protected from external risks like kidnap and ransom, like ransomware, being extortion, right? So getting extorted for money, blackmail, getting stuck in a country where there are riots, right? So physical security, financial security, cyber security. So our family office actually has a security council because of that reason, right? That's number 7. Number 8, mental health. As the family becomes richer and wealthier and bigger, we will have disputes, we will have politics, we will have ego clashes, right? We need to have someone that helps to ground the family. And this is something my grandfather told me many, many years ago. He said, Sanjay, humbleness is a privilege of the rich. Humbleness is a privilege of the rich. And guys, I want you to think about this very carefully. You see, if you're poor and you wear normal clothes, you're just poor. But if you're rich and you wear normal clothes, you are humble. Right or not? If you're wearing normal clothes and you're poor, you're just poor. But if you're wearing normal clothes and you're rich, they don't call you poor, they call you humble. Humbleness is a privilege of the rich. So if you want your children to be humble, you have to first make sure they are rich. Otherwise, they're just poor. Right or not? So, very important that we have to now start talking about mental health as a security feature that we need in the family office. We need to be guides, mentoring, guiding them psychologically, managing their egos, teaching them how to stay humble, right? And the last one is career planning. What career should your children have? Should they join the family business? Should they become a professional? Should they become entrepreneurs? Should they become business owners? What should they become? How do you guide your children? So you need to do proper career planning. And in a family office, these are the 8 conversations that you need to have. There are 8 conversations that you need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 9. 9 things that you need to talk about in a family office. All right? Number 9 is career planning. How do you help your children choose the right career? Deepa, we have something called the third generation syndrome. How many of you have heard of the third generation syndrome? How many of you have heard of the third generation syndrome? No? Okay. Third generation syndrome is the first generation starts it, the second generation manages or grows it, and then the third generation destroys it. Actually, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. The first generation starts it. The second generation manages and grows it. The third generation divides it. And when they divide it, it gets destroyed. So they actually don't destroy it. We actually found data and statistics that the third generation does not destroy the wealth, they divide the wealth. And as soon as they divide the wealth is destroyed. So just keep this in mind, okay? There are a few things that I'm trying to change, all right? Number one is I realize there are a lot of new advisors in the business who don't have the right system. So guys, let me give you the sales system and let me put down that sales system for you. So I want you to write this down, right? The financial services sales system is based on 4 fundamental structures or processes. Number one is the process of presentation. So what we call step number one is what we call presentation or concept presentation. Presenting your product, presenting your service, presenting your knowledge. So that's number one. Number two, when you do a good presentation, clients will still have objections. So step number two is objections. Guys, write this down. I'm actually giving this to you step by step. Step number one is presentation. Step number two is objections. Step number three is closing. How do you convert these prospects into actual clients? Right? So step number three is closing. And step number four is what we call maximizing the sale. How do you maximize the sale? You either cross-sell, upsell, or get more recommendations. Write this down. Write this down, guys. By the way, I know some of you are asking, Sanjay, have you written down the family office structure? Guys, this is actually no book of mine, nor this is in the PDF. This is something that I've built for my family. This is something that I built for my client's family. And I was sitting down with a very high net worth client, and I was showing this to him while we were having lunch together, right? So when we were having lunch, these are my notes. I don't leave my notes in the restaurant. I carry them with me. So if my client doesn't take the notes, I will take the notes for a very simple reason that, it's confidential data. I'm writing a lot of stuff. So I have to make sure that I'm not destroying or, just leaving the notes everywhere. So when I write my notes, I actually carry the notes with me. All right. And that's the reason why I'm doing this in a live event so that you guys are able to write this down yourself. I'm telling it straight to you. So the sales process has got 4 steps, which is doing the presentation, which is the concept presentation, handling objections, right? Handling objections. Number 3 is closing. Number 4 is maximizing the sale, which is upsell, cross-sell, and getting recommendations. So Martin, thanks for writing it down. You missed one word, which is very important, is getting recommendations. You see, guys, referrals are dead. Please stop learning how to get referrals. Referrals do not work. Referrals is a 20th century strategy. We are now in the 21st century. We are 25 years into the 21st century. When will you change? When will you change? Referrals was a 20th century strategy. The 21st century strategy, and I've been teaching this already for 20 years, is about getting more recommendations. All right. Now, I want to bring on some of my mentees to have a discussion with us. But before I call them, we're going to take a 5-minute break, right? So that we can all get a natural break for 5 minutes. We're going to take a 5-minute break. If you have friends that should be listening to this session, please tell them to come in. It will be an absolute pleasure to talk to everyone around the world. So let's just take a quick 5-minute break. I will be inviting some of my mentees to share their strategy for 2025 and what they will be doing over 2025. But let's take a quick 5-minute break. For those of you who are listening in for the first time or you've just logged on, guys, I'm so glad that you're here. Like I said, if you do have friends, please do tell them to log on. This is a free session for everyone. And I want every single advisor to have the perfect strategy for 2025. All right. So just allow me 5 minutes and I will come back. Just want to make sure everyone's got the sound, everyone's clear. And then I do want to introduce all the mentees that are here. Guys, do turn on your cameras. Would love to see you guys. Perfect. All right. Hey, Chris. Hey, Kaka. Hey, Isabella. Hey, Ben.
Hi.
Hi, Sanjay.
Hey,
Sanjay.
Prince.
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
Isabella. Hey, Claudia. There you are.
Hi.
Okay, so we're still missing Kaka whenever she decides to turn on her camera.
Yeah. Hi, Sanjay. Everyone.
Whenever she decides to turn on her camera.
Yeah. Hi,
All
Sanjay.
right. Guys, do turn off your Facebook Live because I can hear myself in your background. Guys, do turn off your Facebook Live because I can hear myself in your background. Guys, do turn off your Facebook Live because I can Someone still has it on. In your background. Okay, I need to know who's got Facebook on in their background. Okay, if you've turned it on, great. Perfect. There we are. All right. Claudia, you're good. Okay, you need to turn off your Facebook Live. Claudia, perfect. All right, guys, quick introductions. Prince, where are you from? So I want you to introduce yourself. Where are you from? How long you've been in the business? How many TOTs, MDRTs have you achieved? And please, yes, please do introduce yourself.
So, hello everyone. My name is Prince. I'm from India, Delhi. I started this business almost 6 years back, and in the last 6 years, I've attained MDRT three times, one time COT, and last year was the first time I attained TOT.
Congratulations, that's fantastic. Okay, excellent. All right, now, Benedict, a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Benedict. I'm in the business. I think this is my 17th year. So I'm more proud of my accolades of having the BCC award behind me. So I've won it four times already. So yeah, that's what is keeping me motivated.
So, guys, let me just give you a little background about Benedict. Benedict's someone that I met a few years ago, and while he has been in the business 17 years, I mean, I know he doesn't look his age. Uh, he basically started when he was extremely young. And the thing about Benedict is that he's always challenging himself to become better. So Benedict and I have spent some time. We have collaborated on work together. We've done some cases together. We've had conversations with clients. Uh, and I think Benedict is one person who I call him 95% Sanjay, right? So he's been able to copy almost 95% of my word choice, my presentation style, literally to the point where, sometimes I have to tell Benedict, why don't you just do what I need you to do, and he'll do exactly that. So, Benedict, I'm glad you've done that, and I think we get along so well, and we discuss not just case studies, we talk products, we talk clients, we talk markets. And Benedict has put himself a target that he doesn't want to do one TOT or two TOTs. He wants to do multiple TOTs in a year, right? So while he's very, very shy about how much business he actually does, guys, I want you all to know that Benedict's a multiple TOT producer. And he keeps himself very quiet because he realized that there's no point in telling the world how much you do, right? So I'm glad you're here, Ben. Appreciate that. I'm glad that you're here to share your strategy and your ideas. Fantastic. Isabella, please do
Yes.
introduce yourself as well.
Hi. Very good morning. I'm Isabella. I'm from New Zealand. For the people that don't know where is New Zealand, we are in the South Pacific. We are the neighbors to Australia, Fiji, Samoa, and Tongan. So we have a population of 5 million. And yes, so very good morning. We are about
How
we
long
are
have you been
almost
in the
2 o'clock.
business, Isabella? How long have you been in the
Okay.
business?
So as advisor is my 8th year.
Your eighth year. And what's the time for you
Yes.
right now?
It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's 2 a.m. Guys, please, please, please give a big round of applause to Isabella. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and Isabella is here sharing her strategy. I mean, thank you very much, Isabella. I mean, I really appreciate the reason why I wanted you to share today was I wanted people to understand how common the objections are, irrespective of where you are in the world. The objections are very similar. And what I did want people to understand was what's different in New Zealand and Australia that is different from Asia or from Africa or from Europe or from North America. And I wanted to have that discussion. And so thank you very much. I know it's 2 a.m. in the morning for you. You're extremely kind to accept this invitation. So really, thank you very much. And guys, I do
You're
want you all to
welcome.
know I've known Isabella for a few years. She's absolutely fantastic. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she is what we call a subject matter expert. In where she is, she's an absolute subject matter expert. We have exchanged ideas. We've actually been discussing on how to grow the insurance industry in New Zealand. So we're not just talking about how to grow her production. We're not just talking about how she can get to the next level, but we're talking about how we can change the insurance industry in New Zealand. Am I right, Isabella?
Yes, absolutely right.
Yes, so we've
Yes,
been
news.
discussing
Yeah.
products, we have been discussing regulation, we have been discussing reinsurance, we have been discussing, insurance, putting new products into the insurance market. And guys, that's the level of commitment that we as advisors have to the business. It's not just to grow our sales, but to grow the entire industry. And we're doing that as a community rather than me doing it individually. Isabella is working at her background. Prince is doing it in his. Benedict's doing in his. All right, going on to Chris. Chris, where are you from, and a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Sanjay and everybody. I'm based in Singapore. I've been a financial advisor for about 11 years. I
You need
started
to be
as
a
a
little bit louder, Chris, because
okay.
nah,
I'm based
there
in
you are.
Singapore. I've been in financial advisory for 11 years now. I started as a part-time agent. Actually, I started as a non-believer in insurance products. I've done one MDRT and 5 consecutive COT in the last 5 years.
Congratulations. By the way, guys, I've known Chris for many years as well. Um, Chris is another person that has learned to replicate whatever I say. So, to a point where when she does my presentation, sometimes she reminds me of the words that I've said, right? So, for those of you who know me, it's very difficult for me to repeat the same thing again, right? So, I've said something, it's very difficult for me to repeat exactly the same presentation. Chris is someone who reminds me, Sanjay, you used this word, you didn't use that word. So, for those of you who don't know Chris, Chris is so if Benedict is 95%, Chris is at 98%, right? So she copies me 90, so she beats Benedict hands down on that one. So, Chris, absolutely proud of what you've done. Now, Chris is a non-believer, right? So she did not believe in insurance. She went on from a non-believer in insurance as a product, as an industry, to now becoming someone that is doing quite well. Has she reached her maximum potential? The answer is no. And I'm telling this openly in front of everyone that's watching that, guys, my target for Chris is to at least be doing double TOT in a year. All right. So, Chris, I'm putting this out straight. I'm putting this out in the universe that Chris is supposed to be doing double TOT every year. All right. So, Chris, I know I always put pressure on you, but that's for a reason. I truly believe in you. All right. And thank you very much for coming on. Now, going to Claudia. Claudia, please do introduce yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself.
Yes, hi, good evening, everybody. I'm from Singapore. I have been in the industry for 26 years. And for the past few years, I have been under the mentorship of Sanjay. And I feel that every time I attend the meeting, it has always been mind-blowing. It's always interesting ideas. And I like the fact that Sanjay is the practitioner. So everything he says makes sense. So, and I
Guys,
feel very
Claudia said
energetic.
she's been in the business 26 years. All right. So that's longer than me. By the way, Claudia started when she was born. So don't fall for that. All right.
Thank
Claudia
you.
started when she was born. But I want to give you a little background about Claudia. Guys, Claudia is someone that I find extremely inquisitive to learn, right? And I've noticed that about her as a person. So, for those of you who don't know this, but Claudia will sit in front of anyone who's willing to teach. And I've seen that firsthand, right? So, I was sitting with a client. So, this was during the MDRT meeting in Dubai. So, if you did not attend the MDRT meeting in Dubai, that was last year, the MDRT global conference, we had that in Dubai. And I was sitting with a client. Claudia saw me from far and she tried to join that meeting. Am I right, Claudia? And I told
Yeah,
Claudia, I was like, Claudia, I'm
exactly.
sorry, you can't join this meeting because we're having a very private discussion. So Claudia is a person who will find the opportunity to learn irrespective of who is willing to share. And that's what I absolutely love about the way Claudia works as a person. And Claudia, I remember all these small things because I know where you actually walked into the middle of my meeting and I actually told you, I was like, Claudia, I need a little bit of privacy over here.
Yeah, sorry
Guys,
about
no, don't be sorry. That's one of the most unique personalities that you have, that you're not scared of just trying to find the opportunity to learn. And that's fantastic, right? Guys, very few people take the initiative or are proactive in wanting to learn. And Claudia is a person who is extremely proactive and always wanting to learn. And these are small things that make a difference between a successful or an unsuccessful advisor. The ability to change, the ability to learn. So, Claudia, absolutely, absolutely proud of you. All right, Kaka. A lot of people know you already, but I want you to please introduce yourself to all those who don't know you.
Yeah. Hi, Sanjay, and hi, everyone. My name is Kaka Lam, and I'm from Malaysia. I've been in the industry for 9 years, and I've qualified MDRT for 8 times, with 3 core of the table and 3 top of the table. And I've been with BCC, I think, for the past 4 years. I think I joined BCC ever since they started 2020 and until now, and I believe that will be like forever. kind of thing. There's so much thing to learn. Yeah, I think Sanjay keep challenging me like once MDRT, he asked me to do COT. After COT, he asked me to do TOT. Yeah, so I think that there's so much
And
to
so, by the way, I'm again putting this out in front of everyone. Kaka is not even close to hitting her potential. Kaka's minimum target should be double TOT. Am I right, guys? Yes, yes. See, Kaka, I'm not the only one who
Yeah.
believes that your target should be a TOT. It is double TOT for Kaka, and I'm putting this out again in public. So, guys, if Kaka doesn't achieve a double TOT, please hold her responsible for it. Um, everyone over here, this is again, it's going out into the universe that Kaka, we want to see you doing double TOT, and I truly believe you can. Right? So it's not that you can't. I truly believe you can, and I want to put that out there in the universe. So guys, thank you very much for coming up on board. I know you're all from different countries. I'm going to ask you all a few simple questions. By the way, they actually don't know what questions I'm going to ask them, and that's what they hate about this session because they don't have any opportunity to prepare. So while they've been told, okay, Sanjay's going to ask you this question, Sanjay's going to ask you that question, the truth is they actually don't know what I will ask. For a very simple reason, I don't remember the questions I told them to prepare for. All right. So a simple question to all of you first. What's your plan for 2025? How are you going to be prospecting through 2025? All right. So we're going to start. I'm going to start with Prince. Prince, what's your prospecting strategy for 2025? Keep it short, 30 seconds, maximum 1 minute, because I want to get everyone to give great ideas, right? So 30 seconds, tell me what's your prospecting idea for 2025? What are you doing? You're on mute. So.
Yeah. So prospecting is probably one area where I'm weak because so far whatever business I've built, it is because of the recommendation that I've got from my satisfied clients. So I was hearing that 95% of your business coming from your clients, and same is the case with me because 90 to 95% is a repeat kind of customer that I'm getting. So this year, what we are going to do in prospecting is I planned for two strategies. One is I've joined a professional networking group where subject matter experts from different kind of background will be coming and we meeting on a weekly basis, and that is a good way of reaching out to more people and reaching out to more audience. Second is ki we are going to be very active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn as in ki we are going to connect with each and every individual who is a client of ours. We are going to look into who is their inner circle and is there can be an opportunity ki we can ask for more recommendation whom they actually know them. So
All
that
right.
is
So let me
yeah.
summarize this to make sure I understood it so I can explain it as well, right? Guys, if you will notice, I will try to repeat what everyone says because if I can learn it and I can understand it, I can teach it. And I want all of you all to do that. So, number one, Prince is joining a networking group that meets on a weekly basis. These are all subject matter experts in different industries. They exchange ideas and they exchange their network. The second is he's going to actively get involved and connect with all his existing customers on LinkedIn. And you're going to see who's their inner circles. You're going to mine that data to see who's in the inner circle and who out of the inner circle you want to connect with. And you're going to find a way to get recommended to those connections. Am I correct?
Absolutely correct.
Perfect. Fantastic. All right. Let's move on to Chris. Chris, what's your prospecting strategy for 2025?
So I'm continuing what I did in 2024, Sanjay, which is giving good advice, whether or not you have
Mike,
the product, giving
hold
good
your mic
advice.
closer.
Okay, giving good advice, whether or not you have the product that can, that can meet the client's needs, as well as building relationship. Now, I also realized that when I go through my existing client list, that not everybody I enjoy building relationship with. And at the end of last year, I have started to remove some of this client, maybe have a conversation with them to see if they want to change to a different advisor to create capacity for me to truly work with the clients that I enjoy. And I think that's the only way I could really grow in terms of doing what I like and treating this not as a work, but giving good advice and building relationship as a daily habits that, that I do.
Fantastic. All right. So, guys, if I want to summarize what Chris is planning to do, is she wants to build this daily habit of building relationships with her existing customers and clients that she doesn't enjoy spending time with. She wants to find a way to help them migrate away to another advisor that they would probably be more comfortable with, right? And guys, I want you all to hear the word she said, building or emptying my capacity. There is only so many people that you can meet in a day. And if you're meeting people that drain your energy, you will become unsuccessful in this business. So rule number one, this is something I learned in the first year of the business, is meet people that you like. Spend time with that people that make you happy. And if you're not happy, right, learn to move away. It's very important that you learn to move away and spend time with people that you truly like. It will help you become more productive. So Chris said something very important. She wants to empty and free up her time for people that she truly enjoys spending time with, right? So then it's not work. Great prospecting strategy as well as a great, I would say, sales system. Okay, fantastic. Isabella, would love to know what's your prospecting strategy for 2025?
Okay, so the first one, I think I should also the same like Chris, probably focusing on my existing clients. I don't think I know them. I thought I know them well, but I don't. I don't know their families. I don't know their business partners. So this is I think is very, and I already have a relationship with my existing clients. So they do trust me. So this is something that I want to further expand my network or prospecting. The other thing is I really want to try the exhibitions, which I never tried before. So this is probably give me opportunity to talk to the business owners, and then, who knows who I'm gonna talk to, and then we may have some sales come from there or good advice given. So this is my two things that I'll be
Fantastic.
working on.
So let me summarize again what Isabella just said. Isabella is looking at, again, trying to build a better relationship with her clients' families. So, what happens is we end up working with one person, or we end up working with, just a company. We forget that everyone is a part of what we call a supply chain. A company will have a manufacturer, a distributor, they could have people above them, below them, families. Let's say you're working with one individual in a family, they might have spouses, siblings, parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren. You could actually start working with a whole network instead of just working with one individual portion of that network, right? So it's about understanding which network do your clients fit into. And that's a great way to actually expand your client base or your network base. The second that she's talking about, and this is something that I actively do as well, is go to road shows, right? You're going through road shows, trade shows, exhibitions, where companies are standing there to promote their businesses. A lot of advisors forget that it's our duty to help our clients become better. And when you help your clients grow their business, you will automatically grow with them. So Isabella, thank you very much for sharing that. This is something that I actively do as well, and I appreciate that. Benedict, what's your prospecting strategy for 2025?
So I took what you shared last year and put it into action. If you don't change what you do and expect better results, it will never happen. So you have to change to get yourself more results. So I'll put it out there. My target here this year is to close 1 case, 2 TOTs. So that's my objective for 2025. And what is my strategy to get there?
Okay. Let everyone get their head around this. So Benedict's target this year is to do 1 case double TOT. All right, not double TOT in the year, 1 case double TOT. All right. So what Chris is supposed to do in a year and Kaka is supposed to do in 1 year, Benedict is going to do in 1 case. All right. Yes, go on, Benedict. Go on.
So my prospecting strategy is actually I have 3. So number 1 is I put myself into more clubs, into lifestyle clubs, okay, whereby for example, car clubs. That's one. That's what I've always been doing. But I put myself into more prestigious clubs now, make myself seen, and then go and interact with the people, get to know the president, get to know the business owners within that. Because for me to hit double TOT in a single case, I've actually identified my target audience. It's actually business owners. So like what Chris mentioned is, I actually moved out away from the personal space whereby I used to advise and advisor to a lot of C-suites, but now I'm only working with the business owners. So that's the first strategy. The second strategy is I'm lining up webinar sales whereby business owners of subject matters come in and then I share. So it's doing seminar selling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing is with my existing business owners clients, I'm actually getting to attend more of their boardroom meetings. So this is what I'm doing personally this year, and this is my 3 strategies. Whether or not I can get my target, I don't know, but at least this is my strategy.
Fantastic. Benedict, let me clarify this to a lot of people who don't understand what is a lifestyle club. You know, when you buy a Ferrari, you actually never buy a Ferrari for buying the car. If you just want to get the car, you can rent it. You don't have to buy it. The reason why you buy a Ferrari is to become part of the Ferrari club. You are the average of the 5 people around you, right? So when you join the Ferrari club, you get access to people who are Ferrari owners, which otherwise you wouldn't have access to. So you don't buy a Ferrari because of the Ferrari. You don't buy a Rolls Royce because you need a Rolls Royce. You don't need it. Actually, he will probably never drive it, even if he bought the Ferrari, right? I mean, in Singapore, where are you going to drive the Ferrari? From one signal to another signal, 200 meters, right? So you don't even enjoy that car, but the reason why you do it is because of the club that you get into, right? So there's something called lifestyle clubs. It's very difficult to get into them, but when you do, and when you do have that opportunity to, you should try and get into a lifestyle club. Now, it is not for everyone. Guys, please understand, this strategy is not for everybody. But I want everyone to know what are the different strategies that people follow. So like Benedict, I used to be part of the lifestyle club back in the day. So I did this strategy about 10 years ago. I was part of the Bugatti club. I was part of the Porsche club. I was part of the Lamborghini club, the Ferrari club. I did my lifestyle 10 years ago, right? So what Benedict is doing today, I did this 10 years ago. This is not my strategy anymore, but this is Benedict's strategy today. Now, it might not be your strategy today. It could be your strategy in 10 years, right? So guys, don't ever get scared that, oh, I'm going to miss the opportunity. Guys, the opportunity will always exist. I did it 10 years ago. Benedict is doing 10 years later. You might be doing it 10 years later. All right. So don't ever get disheartened and say, oh, I can't join this and I can't do this. Guys, learn something that will help you in the future as well. It's not just about 2025. We are in a business that is going to stay for a very, very long time. You're going to be in this business for a long time. Don't get disheartened. Now, if you do buy a car, find out, are you buying the car for utility? Or are you buying the car for networking? All right. If you're buying a utility car, it's a different reason. If you're buying a car for networking, then please buy the right car, right? There are 2 different types of cars. Fair enough. So Benedict, thank you for sharing that. So that was your first one. What's the second one?
The second one was seminar selling, whereby I
Seminar
speak
selling.
to
Perfect.
yeah.
So guys, one of the things that we forget on is that we are subject matter experts. If someone is willing to listen to us, it is our responsibility to communicate our skills. It is not about money. So when you do seminar selling, one of the biggest mistakes we make in seminar selling is we expect sales. Because the word is called seminar selling. So we should change the name. We don't call it seminar selling. We call it seminar educating. Right? You're educating a bigger group of people. And if you educate them and they feel good about it, they will come to you. Don't try to sell. Try to and learn to educate. Do you realize what has happened with Benedict? He has now started attending more board meetings of their clients because he's considered a subject matter expert. Guys, I'm on the board of 57 family offices. Now, am I selling to them? The answer is no. Every time I'm in a board meeting, I'm actually learning from them. They are telling me, Sanjay, we're planning to do this. Sanjay, we're planning to do that. What's your opinion? What's your idea? Is there a better way to do it? And now I've started building asset structuring for them, and how insurance fits into that asset structure is how I earn my money. So I'm on the board of 57 family offices. So just like Benedict is on the board of certain companies, he's now becoming what we call a non-executive board member, right? That's a step-by-step process. You go from being a board advisor to a non-executive board member, and then you qualify as part of board of directors as an executive potential director, and you can have multiple executive roles across multiple boards around the world. All right, so thank you very much. That was your second strategy. What's your third one?
No, that was the third one.
Oh, that was your third one. So guys, seminar selling was seminar educating, and the third one was becoming a board member on their client's board. Fantastic. All right, Chris, Did I ask you? Yes. Oh, I already asked. My bad. You see, this is how bad my memory is, that I don't even remember what I just did. All right, Kaka, tell me, what's your strategy for 2025? What's your prospecting strategy?
Okay, I think focusing on my existing client is very important because I think I'm pretty much the same as Chris and Isabella. It's like, we have so many clients and they are good clients, they're high net worth clients, but sometimes we just actually sell to their immediate families. But I should actually go extra mile. It's like their friends, probably their cousin, their business partner, probably their key people in the company. I think I have to actually leverage on that. Yeah. And I think second, okay, that's my first strategy, back on to my existing client. Then second strategy, I kind of realized recently, because I have been going to social networking events. All this
Yeah.
while actually I've been attending alone. Then until last year in December, when I was actually trying to clear my TOT by first week of December. So I actually brought my client to attend the social networking event together. Because I want her to actually, and want her and want him, just like really like the high net worth client. And please just help me because I really need someone to actually sell me. Rather than I introduce myself like, I'm, like create this kind of value, I'm a specialization. But why not you say on behalf of me? Because the moment my client actually sell me, right, I kind of actually get 50% into my prospect market. So it's very easy for me to continue the conversations. And it was so fast. I shortened the whole process of sales. Yeah, like it's like instead of like
I want to highlight something that Kaka said, and a lot of people don't realize this power. The power of carrying your introduction to a networking event. Okay? Listen to this very careful. The power of carrying your introduction to a networking event. Who is the best person to introduce you? Your own client. Now, when I tell you, can you please introduce me? I mean, let's say I tell Kaka, right? We're sitting we meet in a networking event, and I say, Kaka, what do you do? And imagine the client bumps in and says, oh, Kaka, oh my God, you're asking her what she does? She does so many things. Kaka is probably one of the most amazing advisors. Your client becomes your introduction. And a lot of people don't realize this. When someone of high net worth caliber is introducing you, it is the best introduction in the world. Carrying your introduction is probably one of the most important skill sets in the next century, right? So in 2025, if you truly can do one thing, when you go to a networking event, take a high net worth client with you to that networking event. And when people ask your high net worth client, what do you do? Learn to become their introducer. So you introduce them first. He is an amazing guy. He does this, he does that. Introduce your client in such a beautiful way that when someone asks you, what do you do? Your client will actually start introducing you in a very nice way because they saw how you introduced them, right? So I'll tell you something very funny. This happened last week. I was at a seminar and I was with a group of my very close, I would say, I can't say the word club. So it's a community, right? So we're part of a community, and some of the members of that community, they all know who I am. They were with me. One of my clients was also in that conference, and I introduced my client to this community of friends that I was with, and I said such nice things about my client to them, and then when he heard those nice things, you know what he said? He said, Sanjay is being extremely kind and telling all these good things about me. But what you don't know is Sanjay is this, this, this. And he said things about me that even I would never be able to say, right? So he gave an introduction of me to the people that already know me and made them feel, oh my God, we don't know Sanjay that well. Guys, your best introduction is actually your clients. And when was the last time you carried your introduction with you? Think about it. It's a fantastic prospecting strategy, especially when you're going into areas where you need to be introduced, right? So when you go into a seminar, you go into a conference, carry your introduction with you. And that introduction is usually a high net worth client or another successful person that believes in you. Make sense? So guys, Great strategy, Kaka. Thank you for sharing that. Claudia, what's your prospecting strategy for 2025?
Yeah, so I will want to deepen my relationships and friendships with my existing clients who are lawyers, accountants, and tax strategists. So
Yeah.
these are the people who I think can help us in terms of getting linked to the high net worth space. I would also like to attend the exhibitions and, like you say, get my high net worth clients to introduce me to their network, preferably. Yeah, I think that's the
Fantastic.
main
So
thing.
something that Claudia mentioned, and I think a lot of people don't realize the power of using what we call COIs, centers of influence. Our clients already have other advisors. Our prospects already have other advisors that they already have established trust with. Now, if you trust your lawyer and your lawyer recommends me to them, what happens? It shortens the duration or the amount of time it takes for me to close the deal. So if you are introduced by a trusted advisor that is already working with a family, with a business, with the government. So I know a lot of you said, Sanjay, how do you work with the government? Guys, I don't go to the government and say, I'm here to, hello, hi, I'm here to give you advice. That's not how it works. The government already has trusted advisors. They already have law firms. They already have accounting firms. They have banks. They have people that the government already trusts. And when those people introduce me and they say, you know what, let me bring Sanjay on board. He's a fantastic subject matter expert. He understands insurance. He understands financial advisory. He understands, he can help with the regulation. He can help with so many other things. I suddenly get pulled in. Rather than me putting myself in there, I get pulled in by them and saying, you know what, Sanjay, you're the subject matter expert. Why don't you join us? So, guys, this is one of the things that I want people to understand, that the reason why, all of you are in the BCC program, right? And every single one of you is becoming a subject matter expert in your own area of expertise, in your own country. And all of you are not just becoming industry experts, you're becoming country experts. You're becoming an expert in your country. So anytime a client flies to your country, you are the person they want to find, right? So you're not just becoming an industry expert, you're also becoming country experts. That in Singapore, I want to work with Claudia, I want to work with Benedict. I want every single mentee of mine to become a country expert, not just an industry expert. So I don't want our industry just talking good about us, right? Oh, I don't want other advisors saying Claudia is the best, Benedict's the best, Kaka is the best. I don't want that. I don't want you to be considered just an expert by the industry. I want you to now become the country expert. So, guys, this is my aspiration for every single one of you, that you become the country expert, the go-to advisor in the country for anyone that's coming to your country. So, if someone's coming to Singapore, someone's coming to New Zealand, someone's coming to India, you are the go-to expert in your country. And that's my aspiration for every single one of you. So, guys, this is what I'm putting out into the universe, that is what I want every mentee of mine to become, the go-to country expert. Now, guys, all of them work with different companies. All of them work with different advisory companies. All of them work in different markets. So everyone that's watching today's video, I want you to know this, that Claudia, Benedict, Isabella, Prince, Chris, Kaka, they're all working for different companies. They're working on different products. They're working with different regulatory frameworks. They're working with different types of clients. But we all have the same mission: to help the industry get better. So, guys, I truly appreciate you coming and spending this time. I'm going to ask you one last question. What is the skill that an advisor should have in 2025 that is non-negotiable, right? So if there's one skill set that an advisor should have in 2025 and it's completely non-negotiable, they have to have that skill, right? So quick 2-3 words. What's that one skill that they should have? Prince, you can start.
So, having the right understanding of the product, what are the use cases that exist and what are the problems a single product can solve? Because product is not going to sell in itself. It is a concept. that we are going to
Yeah.
pitch to the client, that is going to create that kind of demand ki, okay, so this particular problem is going to XY, is going to eliminate these kind of risk from my balance sheet and from my
Okay.
life.
So guys, if you heard this, it's not just product knowledge, but it's about how to use that product. And that is a skill that is non-negotiable. You have to learn how the product works. It's not what the product is, it's about what the product does. That's most important, right? So it's not about whether it's a whole life, whether it's a term, whether it's an annuity, a unit link or investment link plan or a VUL. The product everyone knows, but what the product does is the skill set that you have to master. It's non-negotiable. Guys, thank you, Prince. Appreciate that. Guys, this is a non-negotiable skill set, is learning what the product does. All right. Claudia, one non-negotiable skill that everyone should have.
You keep mentioning about the being specialized. So the subject matter specialist. So we need to be really good in the subject matter that we want to talk to our clients about. And I think for 2025, that is non-negotiable that we are really knowledgeable about what we want to tell our clients or help.
So guys, it's very simple. If you're not a subject matter expert, you are a general practitioner, and there are tons of general practitioners. There's nothing special about you. If you truly want to become a successful individual in 2025, it's non-negotiable that you learn to specialize. All right. I don't care whether you've been in the business 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I don't care. Claudia's been in the business 26 years, and today she's learning the art of specialization, right? It's not something she did 20 years ago. It's something that she's doing now. So guys, I don't care how young or old you are in this business. It's non-negotiable in 2025 to have a subject matter expert. You need to become that subject matter expert. And there are four specializations. So keep this in mind. Fantastic. Isabella, what's one skill that's absolutely non-negotiable for an advisor?
I don't know if I should call it a skill, but I think brave. I think this year advisor has to be very, very brave. With the huge challenges in this, in this year, New Zealand government has already announced 2026 deep recession. So there will be lots of challenges in front of us. And then no matter you want to challenge yourself, challenge your goals, we have to be brave to break through.
All right. Now, guys, this is more of a mindset than a skill set, but it's still equally important, right? Isabella, thank you for bringing this up. We are predicting a recession in 2026. We are. Now, if we are predicting a recession in 2026, that means 2025 year is the year of preparing for 2026. As an advisor, you have to be extremely brave to be out there and meet people that you need to meet. Be committed to yourself. Guys, your target is your commitment to yourself. It's not a commitment to the world. It's not a commitment to your company. It's not a commitment to your team. It's not a commitment to anybody else except yourself. If you don't hit your target, you should know what went wrong. Guys, it's a mindset more than a skill set, but it's equally important, because if you don't have the right mindset, the skill set cannot work. So Isabella, thank you for bringing that up. But bravery is a mindset that you have to establish, and 2025 is a year where you have to be extremely brave, because we will see challenges. We will see competition from external factors. So while we are the least competitive industry by ourselves, we will see competition from external factors like cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin, like mutual funds, like the stock market, like fixed deposits, right? We will be competing with other asset classes in 2025, and you have to be prepared to be brave enough to handle those objections, those case studies. You should be prepared for that. So that's absolutely non-negotiable, where you don't lose faith in what this business does and what this business can do. So guys, thank you, Isabella, for bringing that up. Thank you very much. Chris, what's one skill set that's absolutely non-negotiable for 2025?
For me, it's the confidence to start a good conversation and maintain that, because we know that we are not product pusher, but it's the conversation that we have with our clients that will ultimately lead to the closing. Yeah.
All right. So guys, Conversation starters is one of the skill sets that's very, very crucial in our industry. If you're new in this business, please remember one thing very important. The way you start conversations will affect the way you can handle objections, will affect the way you can close cases, and that whole sales process is actually dependent on the way you start the conversation. And that is a non-negotiable skill set. So it is absolutely detrimental to your business if you don't know how to start good conversations. Now, once you start the conversation, step number 2 is being able to hold that conversation. A lot of people, they think they can start very well. So they learn one idea, they learn a concept. Sanjay, I learned 28,000. I learned your root and tree. That's how you started. Congratulations. How are you going to continue holding the power after the presentation finishes? That is a non-negotiable skill set that you have to have, is the ability to hold those conversations. So Chris, thank you very much for that. Okay. Benedict, what's one non-negotiable skill set for 2025?
2 words: being genuine and simple.
Thank you. We make things complicated for no reason. If there's one thing that comes across, right, as soon as you sit down with a client, if you are showing something that is not who you are, if you're genuine, it will come across straight away. People will know whether you're genuine or not, literally by the vibration, the energy that you bring to the table, the energy that you bring into the room, whether you're genuine or not, whether you don't. I mean, if you leave commission outside the room, you will automatically be genuine. Guys, remember this. When you're going into a meeting, leave the commission outside the room. Leave it off the table. It is not important. As soon as you start giving advice, genuine advice, where the effect of that advice is not important, you will automatically become successful. So the only way to be genuine is to leave commission outside the door. Leave the commission outside the door. Keep this in mind. So Benedict, thank you very much. That was genuine was one. What was the second one?
Simple.
Simple. We complicate big things. I mean, something that we could have done in one word, we end up making it extremely wordy, right? Keep it simple, right? It's the KISS strategy. Keep it stupid and simple. And that's genuine, right? Keep it absolutely stupid and simple. Please remember, insurance is the least understood, the most misunderstood, or not at all understood product in the world, right? If you don't make it simple, your high net worth clients don't have the time nor the opportunity to become successful. All right. So Benedict, thank you for that. Kaka, last few words. What's one advice, one skill set that is absolutely non-negotiable for 2026, 2025?
I think the non-negotiable I always do, and I'm planning to do for this year as well, is that every single appointment, I must create a meaningful conversation with my prospect. I think the meaningful word is very important, because once I'm remembered, I have to make sure that appointment has to actually have leave an impactful and meaningful. So once actually, if let's say he remember all the conversation or everything that we have talked about during the meeting, then I believe that I will be on the top of mind. So I practice this every single time. Yeah.
Fantastic, guys.
Conversation must be meaningful.
So one skill set that you have to have in 2025 is the art of having meaningful conversation, not just conversations, but memorable and meaningful conversations, right? If you're not memorable after the meeting, right, you haven't given enough value. So keep this in mind. It has to be meaningful and memorable, two very important words in a conversation. Did the conversation add value to your clients? If yes, you're going to be remembered. And that memorable conversation will translate into sales, if not 2025, in 2026. Guys, you have to remember, it's not about being successful just 1 year. It's about staying successful for multiple years to come. I had a conversation with a client 7 years ago. I closed him this year, right? So it's not about closing clients every year. It's about closing clients in their lifetime. The right time will come if you have the right meaningful conversations, and that's non-negotiable as well. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate your time. Isabella, I know it's extremely early in the morning for you. I'm so thankful that you stayed up it's almost 3 a.m. for you now, right?
Yeah, 2:30.
2:30 in the morning. So Isabella, I really appreciate it that It's 2:30 in the morning, and extremely kind of you to accept this invitation, even though I did not even know it was that late for you. So I'm very sorry, but I
We are
truly
early.
appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I mean, sorry, it's not that, yeah, too early or too late. Both ways, it's you're exactly halfway there, right? So really appreciate you waking up and being with us. I truly, truly, truly am thankful. And every single advisor that's listening to you has probably had extreme value from you. So thank you very much for that, guys. Every single
Thank
one
you
of
for
you is an
having me.
absolute rock star. I'm very proud of you. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted you all to share. You are extreme stars in your absolute domains. Let's stay focused. Let's make 2025 absolutely strong. And guys, please do remember, my target for you is, you know what your target is, right? Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'll let you guys go. Everyone, we're going to take a 5-minute break and then we're going to come back in 5 minutes. But thank you very much. Kaka, Isabella, Claudia, Prince, Benedict, thank you very much. Really appreciate the time. Really appreciate you taking the opportunity to spread this knowledge and your energy. So thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Guys, we will now take a 5-minute break. And so we're going to take a 5-minute break and we're going to come back after 5 minutes. Please do write down all the notes that you have. You have any questions, put them out there. We will try to answer them. I do have questions for my mentees because I really want them to give the best advice to you. And yeah, thank you very much. All right, guys. Now, I do want to bring in my second panel of BCC members and my mentees, who I'm truly proud of. So I do want to bring them on. And guys, do turn on your cameras. We're going to continue the conversation that the first panel finished, and we're going to continue from exactly there. But before we start having that discussion, we're waiting for 2 more people to join in, Anil and Audrey. So let me see you guys join in. There we are. We get to see Audrey. Anil, can't see you yet. So let's just wait for Anil to join in as well. By the way, guys, a little background.
Yeah,
but we can't see you, Anil. So let me just.
I have already joined.
Yes,
Okay.
but we can't see you. I think your webcam is switched off.
Yeah, 1 second.
Might need to restart your computer, but that's all right. We let Anil join in as soon as possible. Till then, let's continue. Guys, I do want you to introduce yourself. I would love to know what I want you to tell them is which country you're from, how long you've been in the business, what's your qualification, so everyone gets an idea. So we're going to start with Mauricio. Mauricio, introduce yourself, please, to everyone.
Hello, good morning. I'm Mauricio. I'm from Mexico City. I currently live in Spain, so I'm going back and forth from Spain to Mexico doing business around the world. I am a chartered accountant. I have an MBA, a Master in Business Administration. I've been in financial advisory and private banking and investment banking, trust, and recently insurance from 10 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay, guys, if you heard Mauricio's introduction, sometimes there are very few people who make me feel conscious of my introduction. Mauricio is one of those people. Mauricio, you've been in the business how long? How long have you been in financial services?
25 plus.
25 plus years. There you go. And you see, Mauricio has got an extensive background in investment banking, private banking, trusts, structures. He's got a global business, so he works with clients across Mexico and Spain and the US as well. So a little background about Mauricio, guys, that you probably, he's very shy to say, is Mauricio is probably one of the most successful advisors that I have met in the world, and he does extremely well. But more than that, so his success, his financial success is just one element of what he does. But the way Mauricio maintains relationships is what I absolutely admire about Mauricio. He knows how to keep people happy. He knows how to maintain relationships. He knows how to help his clients grow their business. There are very few advisors who are committed to the growth of their clients, right? Mauricio is one of them. And I've actually physically seen him do that, where he introduces his clients to potential clients. right? And he expects nothing in that process, right? So he doesn't say, okay, what will I get for doing this? None of that. He actually tells his clients, wait, I'll introduce you to this guy. He will help you grow the business, and he will introduce clients to his clients, which is absolutely brilliant with no expectation. And guys, he's been in the business 25 years. He's extremely successful over a 25-year period. And that's what I want people to understand, that this business is not a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year business. We have advisors in this business that are successful over a very long period of time. And Mauricio has been in the BCC program almost from the day BCC started. And we've worked together on cases. We've worked with clients together on cases. We have done we've collaborated on reinsurance and insurance work, as well as asset structuring for clients. And Mauricio and I challenge each other, right? So he will tell me, Sanjay, why would you recommend this? Sanjay, why would you do this? And I will ask him, Mauricio, why did you not think of that? Mauricio, why didn't you do this? And we end up having debates that can go on for a while, right? I mean, we send WhatsApp voice notes across the world over time, and Mauricio and I have probably one of the most exciting conversations. So, guys, a little background about Mauricio for you, right? Audrey, would you mind introducing yourself?
Wow, how could I follow such introduction?
You get the point, right? One of the
I
few people
know.
that I get extremely intimidated by is Mauricio, and absolutely love that, Mauricio.
Right,
Yes,
right. And
Audrey,
when you
tell
meet
me.
you in person, very humble. But anyway, my name is Audrey. I am from the Philippines. I have been in the business for 6 years, and I'm a three-time MDRT. My professional background is I'm a scientist. So yeah,
Scientist,
so,
wow.
yeah. So I'm a scientist.
By the way, that's something new I learned about Audrey as well. I did not know you were a scientist. Okay, very interesting. Scientist in what, Audrey? I'd love to know that.
I'm a I'm a BSMS biology graduate. Yeah. Who does
Wow.
love, yeah, who loves just really learning. I do have quite a number of certifications as well, just because I want to make sure that I add value to my clients. Some are related to our field, and some are things that I know can be helpful for people in business. So at least even if they don't see the need for, say, insurance yet, if I get to give them ideas, hopefully they'd find value to whatever I can contribute, and they eventually come around.
So, guys, I want to openly and publicly acknowledge Audrey for a few skills that I absolutely admire about Audrey. So, Audrey, let me tell you what I really admire you, and I'm going to tell this to the whole world because I truly believe the world should know what you're extremely exceptionally good at. Audrey is probably one of the most bravest advisors I know. She knows exactly how to talk to anybody and everybody, right? She doesn't look at how rich they are, how well connected they are in the government, they're not in the government. She will sit down with some of the biggest clients that potentially people are scared to talk to, and she would talk with confidence that I've not seen in any advisor in the world. And Audrey, I will absolutely acknowledge you for that. I've known Audrey for a few years. We have also tried to collaborate on some very big international clients. We have worked, and she's another person like Mauricio who loves to help her clients become successful. And I've seen Audrey go out of the way to find and source clients for her clients. So while she's very young in this business, and I know you're thinking, wait a second, she's only doing one MDRT. The reason is because she's not focused on her business, and that's something that is one of her weaknesses, right? So while she has her strengths, one of her biggest weaknesses is she doesn't know how to convert her conversations to an actual sale. So she's fantastic with conversations, fantastic with relationships. She's fantastic. She's extremely brave. So if you remember the previous session, Isabella said there's one non-negotiable skill for 2025. Audrey already has that skill, which is bravery. She knows exactly how to meet people and very inquisitive. She will ask questions all the time. She doesn't understand something. She doesn't feel ashamed to say, I didn't get that. Can you please repeat it? Right. And sometimes the other mentees, they kind of like, Audrey, how can you not get that? So, right, Audrey, am I correct to say that?
That
You
is
see,
correct, but it has to make
you
sense
notice
to me for
everyone's
me.
nodding their head. Yeah, that's Audrey. That's
Yes.
Audrey. So, guys, very, very brave advisor. I'm extremely, extremely proud of what you have done, Audrey, and truly appreciate you spending the time to be here. So now I'm going to move on to Jesse. Jesse, could you introduce yourself? You're on mute. There you go.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessie from Hong Kong. Welcome to Hong Kong. First of all, Hong Kong is everyone knows shopping center, food center, but not now. Hong Kong has become a real financial center now. I think after the COVID, Hong Kong has become very popular place. People coming here not just for shopping, it's
All right,
for
Jessie, introduce
everything.
yourself. Introduce
Okay.
yourself.
All right. So I joined this business 8 years ago. This is my stepping into the ninth year. And I achieved 4 times MDRT, 3 times COT, and then 2 times TOT. I remember when I just joined this industry, I heard there's a legend's name called Dr. Sanjay. So I've been following his step, either the IG or YouTube channels, learn a lot of his simple concept presentation skills. So it's a finally mind-blowing all of my selling skill. So I in here I have to really appreciate what he has been teaching us and what has been contributing to us a lot.
So
The
guys,
other
let me
thing,
let me let me introduce. We'll come to that later. Let me first introduce and tell you a little bit about Jessie. Jessie is a second generation in the business. A lot of people don't know this, but Jessie's mum has been in the business for a very long time. She runs a very successful practice in Hong Kong. Jessie is a second generation in the business. Jessie and her mum are extremely working hand in hand. So while her mum's managing one part of the business, Jessie manages the sales division and she manages a lot of the sales. I've known Jessie for a few years. So Jessie was not in the BCC program till very recently, but she has been a mentee of mine in another program, which I did specifically for her company in Hong Kong. So Jessie was under my mentorship at her company in Hong Kong. And what I loved about Jessie was she was never scared of asking questions in terms of Sanjay, how could I improve? So Sanjay, I understood this concept, but you know what? I learned this concept. I don't know how to use it with a client. Could you show me how to start this conversation? So I know how to present the concept, but I don't know how to start the presentation, right? So that was the weak link that she had. We have also spoken to clients together. So we have actually done a joint call once, and she saw how I started. So she said, Sanjay, I'm not being able to process how you start conversations. Would you mind coming with me to meet a client? And we did end up meeting one client like that, where she saw how I started the conversation. She's like, oh, so it's exactly the way you said it in class. And I said, uh-huh. What's the difference? There is no difference. What I say in class and what I do outside is exactly the same, right? The way I start conversations in class is exactly the way I start conversations uh, with clients. So what I say is exactly what I do. And thank you, Jessie, for coming on board. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Anil, could you please introduce yourself?
Hey, good evening, Dr. Sanjay and other friends and colleagues. My name is Anil Manuja. I have been in this industry for almost 35 years, and I joined BCC program about this is my fifth year. And the moment I joined, there was a huge shift in my mindset, and the whole credit goes to Dr. Sanjay because this before that I had done MDRT, but then I started thinking to do MDRT in one case. And that was my breakthrough. And now I aspire to do one TOT in single case. That's what my dreaming is all about. And I'm working and thinking day in, out day. That thought process is already there. How do I do that? And that is bothering me.
Guys, so let me tell you a little bit about Anil. All right. Anil has been in the BC's program pretty much from the start. All right. He's been in the business 35 years, guys. He's been in the business longer than I have. Some of you are not even 35 years old, right? And that's how long he's been in the business. And what I want you all to understand is Anil is probably one of the most hardworking people I've ever met. I meet hardworking people, guys. Let me be very clear. I meet hardworking people. There are very few people who impress me with their hard work. And Anil is definitely one of those people that I get absolutely impressed by. Anil asks questions that nobody else asks. Let me tell you the truth. All right. Anil will always ask questions that nobody else will ask. And Anil will challenge me to an extent where I keep telling Anil, I'm like, Anil, you're complicating something that I've taught. It's extremely simple. Don't complicate it, right? And Anil and I have these we have these debates, we have these arguments, we have these discussions, right? Where we keep actually telling each other, Anil, you are overthinking this problem, right? But one of the most hardworking people in the world, and Anil, I want to globally and very openly acknowledge that. I truly respect you for the hard work that you do. Anil is one of the first mentees to achieve the BCC award, which was getting one case, one MDRT. So this is a challenge that I've put across to every mentee of mine, that they should try to achieve one MDRT in one case. And Anil is one of those, where he is one of those people who has achieved it. And I'm extremely proud of him, because he is trying to push himself to the next level, which is trying to do one TOT in one case. And Anil, I truly believe 2025 is your year. All right, moving on to the next one. Sissy, tell me, introduce yourself, please.
So, from Singapore, I've been in the business about 8+ years. I specialize in family office solutions.
All right, guys. Sissy is a person who doesn't know how to introduce herself. So let me tell you about Sissy, because every time I try to ask her to introduce herself, she gets extremely shy, because she's like, Sanjay, I'm not very sure what I should say about myself. So let me tell you a little bit about Sissy. Sissy is a person who lives life to the core, right? She's a person who I truly believe lives a very balanced life. So if you really want to learn life balance, Sissy is the person to learn it from. She's got multiple hobbies. She has been a TEDx speaker. She's an author. She's a public speaker on multiple platforms where she talks about inheritance, intergenerational wealth, succession planning, inheritance planning. She's done those, estate planning. Those are the conversations. Her next book comes out very soon. And Sissy is an absolute rock star in what she does. She always has something on her head, so she always wears hats. So if you see Sissy, you will always see her wearing a hat. And she says, that's my statement, right? I like to stand out. So Sissy is a dancer as well, for those of you who don't know this, but she's also a dancer. And she's extremely engaged in a lot of social events, which include philanthropy and a lot of work across Singapore. She's also an advisor to a couple of family offices across Singapore as well as China. And so, guys, like I said, very shy of introducing herself. And I thought, you know what? She doesn't know how to do justice to her introduction. Let me do it for her. So, guys, that is Sissy for you. All right, last one. Cynthia, could you introduce yourself?
Hi Sanjay, hi everyone. Happy to see everyone here. My name is Cynthia. I'm from Singapore. I've been in business for 22 years. Been in BCC ever since it started. Did things I shouldn't have done, did things I should have done, and trying to compress everything so that this is going to be the best year ever.
All right, guys, let me tell you a little bit about Cynthia. Again, one of the people who are very, very shy of what she does. So I thought it's important for me to introduce her properly again. I've known Cynthia for longer than the BCC program. So Cynthia has been a mentee of mine going back, wow, I think about 8 years. So I've known Cynthia for at least 8 years. And over this 8 years, the one thing that absolutely stands out for Cynthia is, again, she's a relationship person. So she knows exactly how to maintain, build, and grow relationships. And it doesn't matter where in the world they are, Cynthia finds a way to get to meet the right people. And that's something I absolutely admire about Cynthia. She goes out of the way to build relationships. And she has found her niche, which is building relationships. So if there's one skill set of Cynthia that I admire completely and I aspire to achieve, is her ability to build relationships. So while I'm great at building relationship, Cynthia is better than me, right? Cynthia, Mauricio, and Sissy, I literally, all three of you, way better than I am. Audrey, way braver than I am, all right? So let me be very clear about this. Audrey is significantly more brave than me. Mauricio, Sissy, and Cynthia, significantly more better at relationships than me. Anil, definitely more hardworking than me. And Jesse is competing with me on generational business, right? So, guys, these are 6 phenomenal advisors who I admire for their skill set and for their consistency and discipline in this business. So, I really wanted to introduce you guys properly. Now, there is one question that I had just asked the previous panel, and I want to continue with that conversation. So I want to take that question as the first question for all of you. And the question is, what is a skill that an advisor should have in 2025 that is non-negotiable? All right. So I'm going to start with Cynthia. I want you to tell me one skill set or tell me a skill set that an advisor should have in 2025 that's absolutely non-negotiable.
I think to me, the most important skill set, not just for 2025, but to be a successful advisor, is the ability to listen. We always talk too much, we fail to listen, and when we listen, we don't listen for the meaning of it, but we listen just to have a reply or to slot in a product. So sometimes we just lose the ability to listen with the heart and figure out what the client is actually looking for. And sometimes that is the biggest reason. If you can't close your mouth, you can't close the case.
So I'm going to teach you a trick on how to close the mouth. Stuff it with food. You see, as soon as she started speaking, I put food in my mouth because I know you're going to have words of wisdom coming out from Cynthia, and I will end up stopping her because I have that bad habit of talking too much. Can we all agree on that? I do end up talking too much. I don't listen as much as I should. So Cynthia, that's a great reminder, and I think every advisor should build the skill. It's non-negotiable, is the building the art of listening. We don't listen. We hear them, but we don't listen to them. Hearing is different from listening. We are reacting to their conversation, right? So we are reacting rather than appreciating or having empathy for what they're trying to say. Listen to your clients and they will tell you their problems. Remember this, guys. Listen to your clients and they will tell you their problems. And sometimes the most common problem that you will hear is, I have enough money. That is a huge problem. You know, when a client tells me, Sanjay, I have a lot of money, I'm like, yes, there is no budget problem at least. The biggest problem we hear is, Sanjay, no money, right? When a client tells me, Sanjay, I have a lot of money, I'm like, thank God I don't have to discuss budget with this client, right? And a lot of people don't realize this. Listening to them will allow you to hear what the actual problem is. So, Cynthia, thank you very much for that. Audrey, what's the skill set that's absolutely non-negotiable in 2025?
Personally, I believe that the skill set that we need for 2025, or at least for my practice, would be focus. Because with everything available online, with everything that can be distracting to us, it seems like when you try to focus and narrow down on what you want to work on, who you want to work with, that's something that can definitely be helpful for 2025.
I think I'm so glad you mentioned that, Audrey, because a lot of advisors forget something which is very important. If you try to make everyone your client, nobody will be your client, right? If you don't focus on the right people, your ability to close cases will be extremely low. When everyone, when I joined this business, I remember my trainer, he told me this. He said, Sanjay, everyone that's breathing, so I asked him, who should be my client? And he said, put a finger under his nose. If there's hot air, he's your prospect. And I said, wait a second, that kind of doesn't make sense to me anymore, right? So guys, just because they are breathing doesn't make them your prospect. Just because they're alive doesn't make them your prospect. Your prospects are those people that you truly want to work with. And having that focus is one of the most important skill sets of 2025. Not trying to sell to anybody and everybody. That is the mantra for 2025. Be extremely focused. Just because they've got hot air coming out of their nose doesn't make them your prospect. All right? Just keep this in mind. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Mauricio, one skill set that's absolutely non-negotiable for 2025.
Yeah, well, I think the ability to adapt to the conditions. I heard you saying that we're expecting a recession in 2026, so there will be a lot of opportunities for us. As I mentioned, I come from the financial sector, purely financial. So other thing you need to do is to learn new skills, because sometimes you think that the skills that you have and the skills that you've been working with are the tools that you have managed. But I have realized that since I joined the program and the partnership with you, I have learned a lot of things. And those lot of things has made me grow my business because I have adapted to those new things and I have adapted my pitch and I have adapted my whole view of this business. So whoever do not adapt and whoever does not uh, learn new skills will be left behind.
All right. So, guys, I want you all to I want you to listen to what Mauricio just said very carefully. So, if you do have the opportunity, this is a recorded session. It's going to stay on Facebook for a while. You will be able to rewatch this video. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that you have the ability to rewatch it, and it's going to stay live in the group. If you believe you've got advisors who should be listening to this in your team, or your colleagues, please do tag them to this so they can actually watch this session. But Mauricio said something extremely important: the power or the skill to adapt. We know things will change in 2025. Regulations, taxes, reporting standards, government policies, things will change in 2025 that will affect us in this business. And if you cannot adapt, you cannot find the right way to discuss. Mauricio has been in the business 25 plus years and a very successful advisor, but he's still learning. That is a skill by itself. The ability to learn and adapt, to implement that into your business. The willing to accept that I don't know everything. And we're going to have a discussion on what I don't know and what I should know. So, guys, I want you all to understand that our business is about adapting. The reason why the BCC program was created so that we can have these discussions and prepare for what we believe is going to happen in the future. And we have these discussions. We actually have debates on this, right? Sanjay, I don't agree with you. Sanjay, I agree with you. We have those debates. I'm not saying I have the answer to every question, but we as a community definitely have the answer to every question. And we have to do it together. It can't be done alone. It cannot be done by one individual. It has to be done as a community. So, Mauricio, thank you for adding value to this community, and thank you for sharing that. Anil, what's one skill set that you definitely need to have, non-negotiable 2025?
I think accept the Mauritius point is to adapt the learning, whatever it is. But I would like to add two things. One is because of this dynamics in the market which is happening due to artificial intelligence in our industry, in the society, there is a lot of opportunity also coming at the same time. And we need to understand the gap of the market where to bridge this. And market on the other end also is giving an opportunity for guarantees and other things which are not going to be for long. So I feel we need to understand this opportunity and have a right mindset to cash on this and work focusedly to make the customer in the larger race, he should be winning the whole process. And
So if
I
I'm
think it
listening
requires
to
a
you
big
correctly,
focus.
Anil, if I'm listening to you correctly, you're saying that we need to find the gap. So the skill that you need is to be able to identify the gap in the market and bridge that gap, right? So I think a lot of people don't realize this, but how many of you spend time to identify the gap in the market? What are other advisors not doing that I should be doing, right? Or what are the other advisors focusing on that I don't want to spend my time focusing on and I should be focusing on something else? For example, Anil mentioned a very key important point. Guarantees will disappear. You see, guys, guarantees are becoming more and more and more expensive. Products that provide guaranteed returns, it is not about the rate of return, it is about the consistency of that return. That will be the key feature in the future. How consistently you will receive your income, how consistently you will have the cash flow. And a lot of people don't realize this, but by identifying that gap in the market, it allows you to become a successful advisor. Identifying that is a skill set that you have to, that is absolutely non-negotiable, the ability to identify the gap in the market. While all the bankers, all the other financial advisors are throwing rates of return. This is going to make you 12%. This is going to make you 20%. This is going to make you 30%. Look at Bitcoin. It's gone this, it's gone that. While they're throwing rates of return, how many people are throwing consistency of income? consistency of return. How many people are focusing on that? And how many products can solve for that problem? Where, Sanjay, I want to build a cash flow for the next 100 years. I want to build cash flow for the next 50 years. I want to build cash flow for the next 7 generations. Right? Who is building cash flow? How many people are willing to underwrite that risk of cash flow for multiple generations? We are the only profession in the world that can potentially solve that problem. And that's the gap that you should be identifying yourself with. And Anil, thank you for saying that, because a lot of people don't realize you need to identify. That's a skill that people don't spend time to learn, is identifying the gap in the market. So thank you for saying that. Jesse, one skill set that you absolutely need to have in 2025.
Okay, I think it's not just for 2025, it's forever.
Okay.
First of all, it's a trust, then relationship, and loyalty. So when we meet a new client or new recruits, how are you going to shorten the distance between building the trust? And then the second, once they become your clients, how you turn to that sales relationship to diverse relationship, so you can expanding more network or becoming more valuable to them. Then the third, how you become loyalty to your clients. We see there are many often cases in the market now. So how you become loyalty to your clients, to your company, to yourself, and to the people who you love and care.
I'm so glad you mentioned this, Jesse, because I think this is something that people forget. When I was building the BCC program, people said, Sanjay, but you're going to be sitting with all the top advisors. They're going to try and poach each other. Guys, we have run the BCC program for 5 years. We have not had that instance where people have been poached, because we have all agreed on one thing. We are here to learn. We're here to grow as a team. We're not here to try and recruit each other, because first of all, I don't recruit and I don't expect anyone else to recruit. But Jesse just mentioned something very, very important: loyalty, responsibility, and understanding how to establish trust with your clients. When you have spent a decent amount of time in the market, it allows you to establish trust. It allows you to establish loyalty. So it's not just loyalty from your clients to you, right? But from you to your clients, saying, I will not make you an orphan. Guys, that is a very, very unique skill to have, to be able to tell your clients, I'm not going to leave your side. So Jesse, that is a skill that a lot of people forget. It's absolutely non-negotiable. And yes, you're right. It is not just for 2025. It is one of the ethics, one of the most important ethical features of our business. And appreciate you sharing that and being so candid and open about it, but being loyal even to your own company. So a lot of people, they tell me, oh, Sanjay, I'm a tight advisor. I wish I was with a brokerage. I wish I was with this guy. Guys, these are excuses for non-performance. Jessie is a tight advisor with an insurance company. She's a multiple TOT. Come on, right? I have advisors telling me, Sanjay, from a tight advisor, I don't have the opportunity. Guys, all our products are the same. All right, let's get that very clear. All our products are the same. It doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're most comfortable with. I'm an advisor in multiple markets. I still end up using the same 4 underwriters, because even though I have access to 100 different underwriters, I'm not comfortable working with them. So they might have a better product, but if their underwriting is not good, their claims is not good, their servicing standards are not good, I don't want to work with them. Plus, I get special approvals because all my business is with those specified underwriters, right? So guys, sometimes concentration is better than diversification, right? You can get opportunities that otherwise wouldn't be available to you. All right, Sissy, question to you. What's the skills that you need to be a successful advisor in 2025?
I think the ability to be inspiring, to be a thought leader. So I would like to invite everyone to think about this question. Are you a role model to the people around you? Because have any of your friends told you that I wish I'm like that? I wish I could be like you. When your friends give birth to their kids, have they ever told you that I want my daughter to be just like you, or I want my son to be just like you? So why yes and why not? Because I think the key thing is when we are inspiring, when people like to talk to us, we always provide them with energy and inspirations. They will want to talk to us. We don't even have the problem of getting people to have coffee with us because they always think about when they want inspiration, they will come and talk to you. So if you are a role model to other people, if they want to be like you, if they want your life, they will want to talk to you. And they will want to learn from you. They will take advice, any type of advice, like life advice, financial advice from you. And I think that's the most important thing that people actually neglected. And think about Sanjay, right? The reason why we listen to his advice is because we admire him. He's a thought leader. Whatever he's shared is always mind-blowing, and he's always ahead of the industry. And that's why we admire him, and that's why we take his advice. So it's the same for all of us. If we want other people to take advice, we need to make them, inspired.
I get that. So, Sissy, thank you for, first of all, thank you for the compliments. But guys, I want you all to understand what Sissy just said. And I think this is a very important skill, is to be able to inspire your clients, to inspire the community around you, where people say, I wish my children are like you. I wish I could be like you. The ability to inspire is probably one of the most important skill sets as an advisor, where people say, what, Sanjay, I wish I had done that. Let me share a very funny thing that happened about 2 weeks ago. I have an internal board of directors. These are external board of directors to my business. They're not in my business, they're external. So they're not in the board. They are outside. They're an external board that I have. And I was discussing with them about my investments, my strategy, how I'm planning for 2025. And I was sitting and talking to them about what I should do and what I should not do. I was sharing my investment portfolio. I was sharing about my legacy plan. I was sharing everything that I've done for myself, my kids, my family, for my generations. And I was sharing that. And after I finished sharing, there were 8 board members. 8 out of 8 of them said, Sanjay, can you do that for our family? Now, can you imagine? These are not clients of mine. They are an external board that I actually hire, that I actually work with to give me ideas on what I have forgotten to do, right? So they are supposed to tell me, Sanjay, you forgot to do this. Sanjay, you forgot to do that. And by the end of the conversation, they were like, Sanjay, can you do that for our family? That is true power, is being able to inspire people that you look up to, right? Guys, it's an absolute skill set. So if there's one thing you take away from today's session, is non-negotiable skills that you need to be successful in this career. And you have heard 12 different advisors from around the world, right, that have given you 12 different skill sets that you need to be successful in this business. So if you want to truly become successful in 2025, and you want to kickstart 2025 really strong, these are 12 skill sets that are absolutely non-negotiable, right? And guys, once you get these skills, it will allow you to become an extremely good advisor. Now, guys, I do want you all to rewind back in time. All of you all are extremely successful. You've been in the business a long time. Your family, for example, Jesse's second generation of the business. I want to ask all of you all one very important question. If you had the ability to restart, right? What is the one advice you would give yourself the day you were starting in this business, right? So let's say you had the ability to restart. Today is your first day in the business, and you're going to get advice from your future self, right? What advice would you give yourself? Because there are a lot of new advisors that are listening to you right now. They're lost, they're confused, they don't know how to start this career. They're trying to figure out what they should be doing. And let's fast forward into the future. If you are looking back 5 years, 10 years, what is that one advice you would give yourself? Let's say, what, Sissy, you did this wrong, or Mauricio, you did this wrong. And I wish I had known this. I wish I had done this for my business. I wish I had taken this risk, or I wish I had taken that risk, or I wish I had chosen this client. I wish I had, what is that wish that you have that you wish you knew when you started in this career? All right, so I'm going to start with the most experienced person in the room. So Anil, I'm going to start with you because you've been in the business 35 years, right? And if you had to go back in time 35 years and give yourself that one advice that I wish I knew this 35 years ago, right? What would be that one advice you would give yourself?
One thing is, I have been experiencing that we need to learn very important skill is to unlearn what we have learned and learn new things faster. That is one thing probably I have taken more time, and which is where I feel if I do that faster, I can run the race more efficiently and focus. These two things are very important in
So
years to come.
so let me let me
Speed.
let me kind of kind of summarize what you just said, and I think it's extremely important, is the speed at which you learn, right? Guys, we all have a different speed at which we learn new things. And the usual reason why we take time to learn is because we're scared of change. We get so comfortable in what we're doing every day that we're saying, you know what, if I do it once and it doesn't work, you give up. So I have a lot of advisors who tell me, Sanjay, I tried your presentation, it didn't work. So my next question to them is, how many times did you try that presentation? Oh no, I just tried it once. Guys, you need to try it a multiple number of times before you should be giving up on new knowledge. You don't give up just in one instant, right? You might have to try it 6, 7, 8, 10 times till you have figured out the right choice of words, the level of confidence, the level of conviction that you know how to do this correctly, right? So Anil is just saying something which is very important, and I think a lot of advisors don't appreciate this, is that you have to increase your speed of learning, relearning, unlearning, and getting out of that comfort zone. And if that was one advice that you could give yourself 35 years ago, that is a great advice. I wish I gave myself the same advice 25 years ago when I joined this business. This is my 25th year in the business. And yeah, I would give myself exactly the same advice that Sanjay, I wish you learned faster. I mean, you guys have seen me grow, but you guys have not seen me having those years where I wish I had learned significantly faster. So Anil, thank you for reminding me of the same advice I would give. And if you're a new advisor, learn fast. That is definitely one great advice from Anil. So thanks, Anil, for that. Jesse, I'm going to go to you. Jesse, what's one advice you would wish you give yourself 8 years ago when you joined this business? Uh, because you've been successful over these 8 years, right? You're a multiple year TOT. You've achieved MDRT literally from the first year you've joined the business. You're second generation in the business, so you've got big shoes to fill. You know, you've got mother's shoes to fill, especially with the expectation, right? Everyone expects you to be successful from the day you join. Why? Because your mom's already in the business. So I feel the same pressure you feel that, you know, your dad's so successful. So how can you not be successful? Right?
See,
And it's
we are on the
extremely
same page. We know what the obstacle we are facing, right?
exactly right. We've got big shoes to fill. So tell me, what's the one advice you would give yourself 8 years ago when you were just starting in this business and you wish you knew this 8 years ago?
I wish I started this as early as possible. I wish to be 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or even 20 years ago. Why I say that? This is the best industry I've ever had. Before I joined insurance, I was in other industry, nothing to do with finance because I don't like numbers.
What were you
Okay?
doing before this, Jesse? Just for I don't even know what you were doing. What were you doing before this,
Okay.
Jesse?
My major was psychology. So,
Okay.
and then I doing human resource, do a lot of recruitment, do a lot of compensation, performance review. So I like to be in relationship with other people, but I never thought I will come back to financial because my mom never pushed me to do this career. She said, whenever you feel comfortable or even you don't touch this industry, it doesn't matter
You know,
because I'm
I'm going to say
versatile.
this, and I'm going to say this out loud, and I wish, I want every advisor in the world to listen to this very carefully. You know, when you're born in a teacher's house, you automatically become a teacher. When you're born in a doctor's house, you automatically become a doctor. When you're born in an engineer's house, you automatically become an engineer. But when you're born in an insurance advisor's house, you know what your parents tell you? Do what makes you happy. I'm telling you, our kids are probably going to be the happiest kids because we actually never promote our industry as a multi-generational industry. You're born in a teacher's house, the probability you become a teacher is very high. You're born in a doctor's house, everyone's a doctor, right? But when you're born in an insurance advisor's house, what do they say?
Do whatever you want.
Well, do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a live example. Jesse's mom told Jesse, well, you're
Yeah.
born in my house. Do what makes you happy.
So, but you don't know this root, the seed has planting in your heart for many, many years. You
That's
don't know
right.
when it will reboot, will growing.
True.
So when the
True that.
time comes, you come, then I will say this is the best industry ever I
Okay.
had.
I'm gonna share a very funny thing, right? So everyone says, Sanjay, insurance is in your blood. And I have to keep reminding them, no, 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 it's not. I'm third generation in the business. My grandfather, my father, and now myself. Insurance was in my dad's blood. Insurance is in my DNA. That's the difference, right? My DNA is insurance. It's not in my blood. It's in my DNA. My father, if you tell him, so my father keeps saying this, if I remove blood from my body and I tell it to write one word, it will write insurance. For me, guys, it is my personality, it's my aura. I walk, breathe, sleep, talk insurance. And if you're a mentee of mine, you will notice that I cannot talk about anything except insurance. People keep telling me, Sanjay, why you're so educated? Why don't you do real estate? Why don't you do investments? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Guys, I cannot think of anything other than insurance. It's in my DNA. It's literally engraved into every portion of my being to the point where today when someone tells me, Sanjay, you have all these clients who are extremely high net worth, they're so rich, they could be doing so many other investments with you, and you could be earning money from this and that, and you could be selling real estate to them, and you could be helping them with corporate finance and investment banking, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, not interested. I'm so good at what I do, I have zero competition. So guys, Jessie has just said something very, very important. She wished she started earlier. So now that if you have just started in this career, I'm telling you, 10 years from now, you would have wished you started earlier. But that wish will only come true if you stay real, honest to yourself, and absolutely genuine to yourself. So, Jessie, thank you very much for that. Truly wish I did start earlier. I mean, I couldn't have started earlier than I did, but that is definitely great advice. I started when I was 17. And I was already too early in the business. But yeah, I mean, if you could, you should. Don't ever feel that insurance is an industry or a profession that your children cannot be a part of. So guys, the reason why I do these sessions is to promote the value of our profession to the world. I want every single financial advisor in the world to feel the confidence, the passion, the potential growth opportunity that we have in this profession. I want to break my own record, not because I want to set a new record, but I want to show you the potential of growth that an individual can have in this business. I want to build that. So if you're listening in from India, I want to be that 1,000 crore guy, the guy who earned 1,000 crores just from doing insurance, right? I want to be that guy that's done $1 billion in transaction values. By the way, last year we crossed 20 billion US dollars in premium. And I'm openly telling this out to everyone that I did $20 billion in premium last year. My target is to cross 100 billion this year. I'm absolutely feeling crazy, and I'm really pushing myself to try and figure out how I'm going to do that $100 billion of premium, not in sum assured, in premium is what I'm pushing myself for. And guys, that's exactly what I want you all to figure out, that this is not a $1 million industry. This is a multi-billion dollar industry. And if you can figure out that number in your head and you can engrave that number into your head, you will truly push yourself to that next level. So if there's one advice I give you is think extremely big, not 20%, not 30%. Think about how you're going to 10x your business this year. 10x, not 1x, not 2x, 10x your business this year. So thank you very much for that, Jesse. Mauricio, one advice you wish you could give yourself 25 years ago?
Yeah, well, in my part, I think I was always thinking about status, like status of being a private banker, status of being an investment banker. And you see that in the movies. You never see a movie about an insurance agent.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, when we watch The Wolf of Wall Street, for example, right, it's about investment bankers, it's about stock traders. There is no movie about an insurance advisor. And I think we are one of the most undervalued professions in the world, where people don't appreciate our business, and by the time they appreciate, they're dead. So that's why nobody acknowledges it as much as they should. Um, and yeah, you're right. I mean, it is something that I wish we can change in our industry, and I think we'll have to do it together, where one
We
person
are.
cannot make that change, right? We all are working to this one direction, which is trying to change the repute of our industry. And the only way to do that is to become significantly more professional and more genuine. I think that's the key word, right? Is to become extremely genuine of the advice we give. And that should be in our own industry. That, yeah, 25 years ago, if you could give yourself that advice, is don't be worried about the reputation and just work and
Exactly.
rebuild.
Exactly. Don't look for that. Go where you will find more, even money than in these other industries. And the status is the status that you give yourself. I mean, you don't have to work for a bank. You don't have to work with whatever. If you give that status to yourself and forget about what everybody else is thinking, and you build, as Sanjay says, the reputation of our industry, we will be able to make these movies about us in the future.
You're right, Mauricio. I think we need to all work on that. Probably that's going to be my target very soon, where we create a movie just for the BCC program, right? We should do an interview of every BCC member, and let's make like a documentary video of how to become a successful insurance advisor. So I'm going to put this out again. I want to put this out into the universe, that I want to build a documentary of how insurance advisors have become successful, and how insurance as a career should be documented down in terms of how you start, how do you grow, and how do you leave a legacy in an insurance business which can go on for multiple generations. And thank you for sharing that, Mauricio, because that could be a potential documentary that we could make, is documenting down our legacy, right?
In pursuit of big
25-year sorry. Yeah, no.
It could be pursuit of big case closures.
Yeah, the pursuit of big case closers. That's a great title. Wow, I'm going to think of that, right? The pursuit of big case closers, right? That's a great title to think of. Perfect. Thanks, Anil. That's a brilliant title. But Mauricio, thank you for sharing that out, that don't be worried about the reputation of the industry. The question is, what is your reputation? And you should be focusing on building your repute, not worrying about the industry, not worrying about which organization you're linked with, but building your own reputation. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. Dharampal has actually put up a great idea. Say, hey, you know what? Let's put it on Netflix.
Why not? We will. I was inspired by these movies. I was inspired. I want to be that guy, and I had my troubles down the road. And you know that, but still, banks can go bankrupt. No insurance company goes bankrupt.
Yeah, there is no word called insure-crupt, right? It's bankrupt. It's not insure-crupt. And a lot of people don't realize this, but it's a lot of things that our business does that nobody else can do, right? And thanks, Anil. That's a great topic, the pursuit of big case closers. And we put that out. I mean, seriously, I'm going to figure out how we're going to do this. I really don't know how we're going to do it, but I'll figure this out. And yeah, let's put it up on Netflix. I mean, what's wrong with that? Having a documentary of how insurance advisors work, and interviewing some of the top insurance advisors in the world. And we'll start with the big case closer mentees, right? To make sure that advisors get the opportunity to share their story. And guys, that's great. I'm gonna figure out how my marketing team and how our production team can work on that. We're going to put that out. I'm going to figure this out. If not 2025, 2026, 2027, we're going to figure this out, of how to change the stigma that we have with our insurance profession and change that into a profession of acknowledgement, reputation, and things that we've done right and wrong. So, accepting our mistakes and willing to change is probably one of the most important questions that we want to answer in this documentary. And that's why I'm asking this question, right? What was that one advice you would have given yourself 25 years ago? Is because it tells you the mistakes you have made and you wish you did not make those mistakes. For example, being worried about the way people look at you, right? Or in Asian culture, we saying saving face, right? They're really worried about how people look at them more than what they're actually adding value. So yeah, Dharampal, thank you for that advice. Netflix, we're going to come for you. I'm going to figure out how this production is going to get done. And Mauricio, thank you. Absolutely brilliant. Movies do inspire. And maybe that's one thing that we're missing is creating a movie, right? Maybe that's the last nail in the coffin that would change the way we are perceived, is having, if not a movie, at least a documentary about the way we are growing. So fantastic. Thanks, Mauricio. Great advice. Audrey, what's the one advice you would have given yourself when you joined 8 years ago?
Apart from the fact that I should have reached out to you sooner. I mean, you're already a known person by the time that I got into the industry. I should have reached out to you sooner. I would have been able to do so much more. But I think if I were to go back in
Audrey,
time,
I'm guilty of exactly the same mistake, right? When you admire someone in the profession and you don't reach out to them, it is probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my career. It took me very long to approach my mentor today. I wish I had approached him a lot more sooner. So I'm exactly guilty of exactly the same mistake you have made. Is you knew who your role model, your idol, your mentor should be, but we forget to approach them and find a way to follow them. And it took me 10 years to actually approach my mentor and say, you know what, I would love to learn from you. And he said, Sanjay, but you're not that advisor. So I'll give you an example, right? My mentor, the one that I became a mentee to him about 3 years ago. This is a mentor that I've been trying to find for 20 plus years. And I know about him. And one day, out of the blue, my existing mentor, he said, Sanjay, do you know about this guy? And I said, yes. He said, do you want to meet him? I said, absolutely yes. He said, he's my neighbor. I said, no. He's your neighbor? He's like, yeah, you want to meet him? I said, listen, you don't even have to ask me a second time. Tell me when. I'll cancel everything. I want to meet this guy. And he organized a meeting for me. I flew down to the US. I spent 3 days with this guy. Audrey, he changed everything I think about the business. He took me from that multi-million-dollar advisor to becoming a billion-dollar advisor. So I have to put my heads down. I'm not allowed to say his name because he's a guy who is extremely private. But he took me from being that multi-million-dollar, that $100-200 million advisor to becoming a billion-dollar advisor. And I have to give it out to him. He's an extremely private person. Only the BCC members know about him because we've all signed an NDA to not disclose information, right? And we've all agreed never to disclose. So you all know who he is, but he's the man who taught me, who gave me that spark of how I can go from being a multi-million-dollar advisor to becoming that billion-dollar advisor. And I wish I had asked my mentor, do you know this guy? And had I asked him a little bit earlier, I would have probably met him 5 years sooner, right? So guys, Audrey is absolutely correct. Sometimes who we want to meet, we are scared of approaching them or having a conversation with them or finding a way to be associated with them. That fear is what is a mistake that we make in our career. And it is the same advice I would also give myself 25 years ago, that I wish I approached the right mentors at the right time, the right legends that I would like to follow at the right time. So there are extremely successful people in our business who are not in the limelight. When people tell me, Sanjay, you're probably one of the top advisors in the world, or you're biggest advisor in the world, it scares me. You know why does it scare me? Because now I don't know who to learn from. If you are the number one advisor in the world, that is a very scary position to be in, because now you don't know what the next target should be. So I'm always glad if I'm number two, because I know I'm working towards number one, right? But when you become the number one advisor in the world, it's the most scary position to be in. And I truly believe I'm not the number one advisor in the world. I truly believe there are people who are doing way bigger than I am. I just haven't seen them or met them yet. And the day I do, it will change my business. It will change the way I work. So today I'm already working in the multi-billion dollar market. The next question is, can I get into the multi-trillion dollar market? And if the answer is yes, who is that advisor? There must be somebody there, right? There is a multi-trillion dollar market. I'm not in the trillion dollar market. I'm not even close, but I'm sure there is. And the question is, who's that person? I want to achieve that, or I want to meet that person. So guys, I do want this. I do want that opportunity. And no, Mr. Lopez, it's not that person. But yes, he is a legend in the business. But no, it is not him. They have passed away, unfortunately. We're talking about the Kinder brothers. Fantastic individuals. They are legends in the business. They are people who have built the right models to follow on. But no, it's not them. This is a person who is absolutely unknown. He doesn't like to be known. Very little about him on Google, but he's my mentor, and I get the opportunity to celebrate my birthday with him. So I'm actually flying to celebrate my 42nd birthday with him in 2 weeks, specifically because I want to sit down with him and check, have I figured out my 2025 plan correctly? Benedict has said something very important. They say never meet your heroes. But the fact is, I would rather meet my heroes and be disappointed than not meet my heroes and regret that I wish I did. So if your heroes can't live up to your standard, that is not your problem, that is their problem. All right. So if you have a hero that you look up to, and those heroes cannot live up to your standard, that is their problem. It is not your problem. Never have the regret that you had the ability or the opportunity to meet your heroes and you did not. Because when you do meet your heroes, they will open up your mind to a bigger story. And if they cannot live up to that standard, that is their problem. It is not your problem. So I know they keep saying that, and that's because you don't want to feel disappointed. But if your heroes disappoint you, that's their problem. It's not your problem. Guys, don't ever feel the regret of meeting your heroes. On the contrary, I would say go out of the way to meet your heroes, because it's their responsibility to continue being your heroes. If they cannot inspire you, they cannot motivate you, they cannot push you to becoming a better individual, better advisor, better whatever you want to be. If they can't help you with that, then they shouldn't be having that title anyways, right? And that's the burden of being a hero, that you have to always be on your A game, even on your bad days. Even on your bad days, you have to be on your A game. So yeah, Audrey, thank you for sharing that. Cynthia, what's the one advice that you wish you gave yourself when you joined this business 22 years ago?
I think the best advice, even if I think back now, is to specialize from day one. I think a lot of times the reason that we are resisting from specializing, not exactly specializing like the way we are doing in BCC in terms of the market, but it could be specializing in a specific product type.
Yeah.
Or it could be specializing in a specific industry or a specific profession. Because at the beginning, you are always fearful or having the fear of not knowing enough. And when you go out, you always feel that I need to know more before I go and meet a client. So a lot of times you have that width, but you don't have that depth with every single client that you meet. And that actually slows down your process, because you're trying to be everything to everyone when you don't even know what you're good at, what you like, and the kind of clients you want to have. So I would say if I specialize on day one, I probably might have spent 6 months wasting myself on a market that I didn't like, but at least I realized I don't like this market and I'll forget about this market for the rest of my life. And that's better than thinking, I want everyone to be my client. I want to know everything about every industry. I want to know, what the wives are thinking, what the girlfriends are thinking, what the father is thinking, what the mom is thinking, and what the whole family is thinking. And end up, no one buys from me because the same way Mauricio says we have a fear of our reputation, we also have a fear of missing out on clients that we think we might or could have closed, but we didn't close because we didn't know enough. And that in itself was the worst inertia you can ever have if you're starting out in the business, because even as a senior advisor today, there are still things that I don't know, but I can tell you I'm not interested in knowing them anymore.
Cynthia said something very important. Being able to become a specialist is probably one of the most important things. And that's actually the reason why, Cynthia, I set up the BCC program, because I realized there are great advisors in the market, but they haven't specialized. And they kind of plateau out, right? So they don't know how to grow into the next level. They stay at the same level for 5, 10, 15 years. And then they kind of start getting frustrated of themselves, saying, you know what, I'm not being able to break through. I'm not being able to break through. I'm not being able to break through. And that's actually the reason why I created the BCC program. I wanted advisors that are stuck to work with other advisors to kind of break through that ceiling. And when we sit down through the mastermind, this year we've got the mastermind in March, and then in the latter part of Q3, if I'm not wrong. So the whole purpose of that mastermind is for people to kind of learn that 2 days. I know you guys get so tired after the mastermind. I know all of you get extremely exhausted, right? Because those 2 days, we're spending what, 18 hours together, right? So we're spending 18 hours together over a 2-day period, just discussing about what to do, how to change, what's my target, what's the strategy I'm focusing on, practicing case studies. And I know they get extremely tired, including me. I'll tell you something, 2 days after the mastermind, I need to sleep, because we are literally working for 2 straight days getting our strategy together. And in the BCC program, that's what I love about us, that you guys are so committed that you guys actually sit down for those 9 hours every day for 2 days, right? I mean, seriously, hats off to you guys. I get to speak, yes, but you guys get to sit through that. And I truly admire that for you guys, that you're willing to learn so much and you're willing to adapt and change, right? So one of the things that I keep telling advisors is the quicker you learn, the sooner you learn, the more successful you will be. And that's exactly what Anil was trying to tell you. You have to increase your speed of absorption. You have to learn to absorb. Guys, I'm extremely proud of all of you. And you guys, it's quite late in the night for some of you. It's very early in the morning for you, Mauricio. What's the time for you now?
Now it's 8:30 in the morning.
It's 8:30 in the morning. So you have to remember, guys, we have Isabella, who was up at 2:30 in the morning. We have got Mauricio that's been up since 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and he's willing to share, and he's been here since then. And we've got you guys. I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock in the night for you guys in Singapore and Hong Kong. So guys, really appreciate your time. But thank you for that. I do want all of you all to leave everyone with one quote, right? Or one statement, one power phrase that would be your 2025 power phrase, right? I know I haven't given any of you all any time to think about any of these questions, and you guys are like, Sanjay, you need to stop putting us on the spot like that. But that's the best time, right? Guys, they have no clue what questions I'll ask them. And every time they come on, they're like, can you please give us a little bit of a heads up on what that question will be? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think. What's that one power phrase for 2025? Just a power phrase. I'm not going to summarize it. It's your power phrase for 2025. And I'm going to start with Sissy. Sissy, what's that one power phrase for 2025 that you have that you would love to share with everyone?
Be passionate about whatever you do. I
All
think
right,
we are
be
in the,
passionate.
yeah.
Perfect. Be passionate about whatever you do. Fantastic. Anil, what's that one power phrase for 2025?
I would like to quote my tagline: we turn ordinary people into millionaires and we prevent millionaires from becoming ordinary people.
Oh, I like that one. We we turn ordinary people into millionaires and we prevent millionaires from turning into ordinary people. I'm going to add the B instead of the M. So we turn ordinary people into billionaires. No, I turn millionaires into billionaires and I prevent billionaires from becoming millionaires. So That's going to be my tagline. Perfect. All right, Audrey, what's your tagline for 2025?
Know your limits and surpass them.
Know your limits and surpass them. I think a lot of people don't, they keep saying sky's the limit. And when you say the word sky is my limit, it's scary because now you don't know when that milestone has been achieved. Setting milestones that you can achieve is one of the most motivating things that you can build for yourself. So when you keep saying, right, the sky's the limit, it's actually very demotivating because you don't know when to stop and acknowledge, pat yourself on the back and push forward, right? So guys, please don't keep saying that the sky is the limit because you don't know when to stop and pat yourself on the back. Set milestones. Once you hit that milestone, pat on your back, next milestone. Pat on your back, next milestone. So don't say sky is the limit. Know your limit and then surpass it, right? So know your limit, know what you're working towards, pat yourself on the back once you achieve it, and then know what your next limit should be, right? And thank you for that, Audrey. Appreciate that. Jesse, what's your tagline for 2025?
Make every moment become extraordinary moment for yourself, for your clients.
Make every moment extraordinary.
Yes.
Okay.
For yourself, for your client, for your family, for the one you love.
Fantastic.
To give before you receiving it.
Give before you want to receive. Be a giver, don't be a receiver. If you give, you automatically will receive back in multiple folds. I mean, we have heard this for charity as well. And I think charitable planning is one of the area of expertise that very few advisors have, is working with charitable foundations. I mean, how many advisors do you know? How many insurance advisors do you know are on the board of charitable foundations where they have to build a sustainable charitable structure? And that's why asset structuring is so important, because when you do charity planning, the way you structure the assets for sustainability, right, is extremely important in the world of charity. So when we are doing charitable planning, and that's one of the most important elements in estate planning, is I'm on the board right now of 9 charities. And while I'm working on the board of these 9 charities, we are continuously building a sustainable asset structuring mix. And I think a lot of people don't realize this, but asset structuring is the future of financial advisory. The way you structure assets, the way you hold your investments, the way you market your strategy will affect the assets in your portfolio and will affect the ability to continue. So making ordinary moments extraordinary is very, very important. And thank you for that, Jesse. Appreciate those words. Extremely, extremely nice words. Cynthia, what's your 2025?
Don't work. Give excellent advice to everyone you see. That's
I knew you wanted to put a full stop after don't work. I knew that Cynthia wanted to put a full stop after don't work.
No, exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark. Don't work. We have a lot of fun together on this one. And it's actually the first philosophy that my father taught me. Don't work. And when my dad said don't work, I was like, what do you mean by don't work? He said, Sanjay, there you see Chris is actually saying you know her so well. So my dad told me my first advice that my dad gave me was, Sanjay, don't work. And I said, Dad, what do you mean by don't work? And he said, Sanjay, we all love to give advice. The only advice we don't like to give is financial advice. If you make a financial advice as a part of your personality, this is not work, right? So rule number 1, actually, guys, don't work. This is not a work. This is your personality. Giving advice is something that we love to do. From the day we are born, we love to give advice. Then why not financial advice? And so, don't work. I'm going to keep that in mind again. It's a great reminder for me as well. Sanjay, don't work. If it's giving you stress, don't do it. Don't work. Fantastic. Who have I missed?
I am here.
Yes, Mauricio. What's your tagline for 2025?
Stay committed to your affirmations, trust the process, and have faith that the seeds that you planted in your subconscious mind will grow and bear fruit when the time is right.
Wow. Very
Because it's not
philosophical.
always about work,
You're right.
strategies, knowledge, and everything else. You have to go beyond there. And I heard you saying that you will put that into the universe, and I guess that you do that as well. You work in your inner self and with the universe. So
I do believe in the power of being able to talk to the universe and, putting it out there, because when you put it out there, people will come to you. People will come to you and say, you know what, Sanjay, I could help you with that. Or Sanjay, I will help you achieve that. And I truly do. I mean, I do put it out in the universe all the time. I keep putting it out in the universe. I want this done, or I want to achieve this, or I want to, I want to make this change, and I want to make this change inside me, outside me, etc. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, trust the process. I love the words that you just said. Trust the process. Don't doubt the process. There is a system that has been built. Trust the process. I think that's a very, very key word. So guys, if you did take away something from Mauricio, it's these keywords. Number one, trust the process, right? And the seeds that are in your subconscious mind, keep watering them. They will bear fruit at the right time. I put up a video a few days ago, which was about the bamboo tree, right? When you plant a bamboo seed and when you put a bamboo sapling, it actually doesn't grow for 7 years because it's so busy building its roots that it actually never grows. But after 7 years, it starts growing 1 meter a day. So every day it's growing by 1 meter because now the roots are so strong, right? Those seeds in your brain have become so powerful, they've rooted themselves so strong that now the ideas and all the things that you want to achieve just come out of the ground straight out. And I think I don't want to use the word manifestation, but that's pretty much what manifestation stands for, right? When you manifest something and you put it out, you will manifest it into reality. So whatever you put out, whether that's negativity or whether that's positivity, you can manifest both. You can manifest negativity as well as positivity. And Mauricio, thank you for bringing that philosophy. And I think that's a great way to kind of wrap up this panel is, guys, manifest positivity. Manifest what you really want to achieve and let the universe send the right resources to you. Let the right people come into your life. Let them help you grow into that being that you want to be. We will have dark days. We will have days when we lose faith in ourselves. It's okay. Take a break. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of your purpose. Write down what you feel. Write down what you're feeling. And then trust the process. Trust the process. Give time. It's the best advice you can give to anybody is give time. Not everything that's supposed to happen will happen today, but give time and be around the right people. And I think if you guys want to know my tagline for this year, my tagline for 2025 is, you are the average of the 5 people around you. And I'm going to keep changing the 5 people around me because I want to up my average. So guys, if you want to up your average, find those 5 people that you want to be around, you want to be talking to, you want to be interacting with, because it will affect your not just your net worth, but it will affect your life, right? So when I say you're the average of the 5 people around you, it's not just financially, it's mentally, psychologically, emotionally. Financially is a given, but even emotionally, if you're around 5 unstable people, you will become unstable. If you are emotionally around 5 excited people, you will automatically get excited. So sometimes having that passion, that excitement comes from the average of the 5 people around you as well. So that's the reason why the BCC program for me is it's okay. I know you guys think that I'm giving you so much. Guys, let me tell you what I get back from you. Because I know you keep saying, Sanjay, you've given me so much, you've given me so much, you've helped me so much. I know you guys keep saying that. Let me tell you what you've given me. When I come to the BCC program and I interact with you guys give me passion to a level that pushes me out of my dark days. I have bad days. I do. I really do have bad days. And when Benedict says you should never meet your heroes, what you guys don't realize is I admire every single one of you in the program. You were chosen to be in that program. I have interviewed every single person that joins the BCC program. And there's a reason why I interview them. I want to know, can I learn from you as much as you can learn from me? I want to see your attitude to life. I want to see your attitude to the business. I want to see your attitude to the profession, to the products, to the industry. And if you come with negativity, I don't want you in the program. Do you realize everyone in the program is extremely positive? And as soon as they're negative, do you realize they automatically get filtered out of the program? Have you realized this? That all the negative people that join the program automatically get filtered out. Because we are such a strong community of positivity and growth that we automatically kick people out that are not willing to live up to those standards. So when someone leaves the BCC program, I'm like, thank God. They left with that negativity. I have only ever removed 2 people from the BCC program myself, was because I saw negativity, right? I'm not willing to spend time with someone that brings negativity to us, because we are a community of growth. We are a community of actually rebuilding ourselves. So I know you guys are thankful to me. Let me tell you this, and I'm openly claiming this. Guys, every single BCC member, thank you, because you have made me a better person today. You have challenged me, you have motivated me, you have inspired me with each of your unique abilities. Every single one of you is extremely unique, and you have skill sets that I wish and I admire that I could have. So Anil's hard work, Audrey's bravery, right? Cynthia's relationship strategy, Mauricio's philosophy and relationship strategy, and his commitment to his clients. Anil, really, Jesse, all of you guys truly inspire me to be better. Sissy, I'm telling you, she's the person who lives life better than anyone I know. And I know a lot of people think Sissy is a little bit on the edge. She's always, excited, and she's smiling, and she brings in so much energy in the room that she brings in. And sometimes they're like, Sissy, you're too energetic, right? Even living up to Sissy's energy level sometimes is extraordinary. So Sissy, I do admire you for that. And guys, thank you. I truly appreciate that. And if everyone that's watching into today's video, if you do have the opportunity to re-watch this video, share this with your colleagues, share this with your friends. We all want to make 2025 our best year ever. And that's the reason why we call this Kickstart 2025, because we are kickstarting a journey into the year, and what you do for the next 11 and a half months will affect your reputation in 2026. So set a target that's extremely large. Don't be scared of it. Just believe in the process. Have faith in the process. So guys, thank you very much, and appreciate you taking the time to share. You get nothing for this, I know that, but really appreciate you taking the time to come and share with everyone. Guys, it's an absolute fact. Not a single one of them or I get anything from doing this. Not Cynthia, not Anil, not Audrey, not Cece, not Jesse, not Mauricio, and everyone in the first panel, Kaka, Benedict, Isabella, all of you guys, none of you get anything for doing this. Claudia, I really appreciate you coming on. None of you get anything for doing this, but you actually took the time to come and do this, and I truly appreciate that. Each one of you is a subject matter expert that I admire and I look up to. And thank you for being in my life. I had to say that out today, and I truly want to be, I mean it. Thank you very much, guys, and truly appreciate it. So thank you for your time. I'll let you guys go, and we will continue with the rest of the evening. So we still have about 30 minutes. I do want to spend some time with the rest of you. Guys, if you do have questions, please put it out there. I would love to try and answer as many as possible. I'm going to let the panelists leave so that we've got our time together again. So thank you very much. All right, there we are. So I'm going to try and see if I can get some of the questions out there. My team's putting it together while we speak, so that's brilliant. By the way, guys, I did get one question during the program, which was, Sanjay, who should join the BCC program? Let me be very clear, guys, the BCC program is for advisors who have been in the business a certain duration of time. So if you're a new advisor, which means you're just 3 or 4 or 5 months into the business, please do not apply for the BCC program. The BCC program is an advanced program for newer advisors, I would recommend to go onto my YouTube channel. I have shared a lot of free content that will help you to get to the basic level. It will help you get to the first or second benchmark. And once you've built that experience, don't waste money. First, go and learn the basics. I have put the basics out there for you. You can get the FAS system, which is the financial advisor system. That will give you the basics. It will teach you some of the basic and some of the advanced skills which you need to become successful if you're an early advisor. But if you have already got 100 clients, you have already got a certain number of years in the business and you feel you have stagnated, you would be the right candidate to potentially apply for the BCC. By the way, I do interview every single person that joins the BCC program because I want to make sure you're adding to the community. I don't earn any money from any of the programs, any of the books, any of my speaking engagements. I earn $0 from that. This is 100% charitable work for me. This is something I do because I truly want to change the profession, and the industry can only change from inside out. So we have to do it internally, and I'm willing to spend that time and my resources to make sure that we can grow it. This is not my business. Let me get that very clear. I'm not a trainer. I am a coach, I am a mentor, but I don't get anything for this financially. I do get a lot of benefit emotionally, mentally. I feel satisfied and I truly get that appreciation. And that does give me the drive for it. But if you're an advisor with more than 100 clients, you've been in the business and you feel a little stagnated, I would love to interview and see if you're the right candidate for the BCC program. But if you're new in the system, you're a new advisor, you have less than 100 clients, the financial advisory system would be great for you. If you're an advisor that wants to kind of get a little bit of the advanced knowledge, but you don't have the commitment of time or resources for the BCC program, then the ASC program is for you. So guys, I've built multiple programs for multiple reasons. Every program has a purpose. The BCC program is a pure mentorship program. It is not a training program. So let me get that very clear. Mentorship and training, there are two different things. Training is where there's module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, and then you graduate. That is a training program. A mentorship program is where we figure out how to continue growing. I mean, you met some of my mentees. They've been in the program for more than 4 or 5 years, and they continue to stay in the program because we are continuously growing together, right? I'm growing, you're growing. I'm growing, you're growing. And this is, I mean, we should be charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for this, which, for example, my mentor, he charges me $700,000 to be in his mentorship program, right? So I'm willing to actually spend $700,000 to be in my mentor's program. When you get to a certain level, I don't mind paying $700,000 if I know I'm going to get $1 billion client, and I want to be prepared and ready for that kind of a client, right? So I know a lot of people don't realize this, but I don't mind spending that money if I have the ability to grow. So just keep this in mind, guys, that it's the cost does not actually matter to me because I know I can recover that in one case. So that's one of the most important things. The reason why I charge so low on the BCC program is because I don't want you to spend too much money to get knowledge, but I want you all to appreciate that there is so much effort that goes in by the team. And that's one of the things. So if you are an advisor that is there, I would love to mentor you. I mean, like I said, I don't get any financial reward for doing this. I do get a lot of emotional satisfaction for doing this. The registration for BCC will be closing very soon because there's only so many members that are one in the BCC program. It's very, very limited. But I do have the ASC, which is the Asset Structuring Club. And the reason why I created this club was because I realized there are a lot of clients, a lot of advisors that don't know how to structure assets correctly. The future of insurance is not just risk management. It's about the way you structure these assets, the way you use insurance policies to achieve different things. We don't get compared to other assets. We actually get utilized to build multiple assets with it. So guys, just keep this in mind that if you truly want to learn, you have to invest into learning. It's not about the money, it's about time. You have to invest time to learn. There is a lot of knowledge that I've already put out there. It's available to you. Pick it up. Don't lose out on basic knowledge that I've already put out there. Learn to set targets. You have the PDF from today. It's a self-explanatory PDF. You can go through the questions, you can handle it yourself. You should be able to answer those questions for yourself. How to set targets, how do you find your clients? I've written down the questions you need to answer to kickstart 2025. I did not want to go through the PDF with you today because you can do that yourself. Every single one of you is educated. You are all adults, you're not children. You don't need me to go through the PDF. You can go through the PDF yourself. There are self-explanatory questions that you should answer for yourself to kickstart 2025. I wanted to give you a highlight of what 2025 is going to look like. I wanted my mentees, I wanted my colleagues in the business to share with you what they are doing, their strategy, their ideas, their mindset, their skill set that they will focus on and build. You have learned something new today. Share it with someone who needs it. Don't be scared of sharing. Please go ahead and share this with everyone. This is a public session. And if I've said something that has offended you, I am sorry. But I will say what I truly believe in. I will continue to do that. So, guys, best of luck. Let's make 2025 our best year ever. And if you do have questions, do send them across. I would love to answer them as soon as possible. I'll try and make videos on them if possible so that that question is answered not just for you, but for everyone around you. But guys, thank you very much. God bless you. Stay safe. And most important, stay motivated.